All right, the start
All
button's
right.
been clicked. I'm just gonna edit this out. All right, boys, thank you for joining me on this. I don't even know what to call this. This mess of a video. I can already tell because I've seen the preview of the list. But how are you guys been so far on this lovely Thursday night?
I've been
I'm
well, Greedy.
good.
How have you been?
I've been terrible. I've been looking at the results, and they're not good. I can tell you now, we've got a mess. Flou, why'd you have to break our whole list?
What'd I do?
Why did you? You broke our
How'd I
list.
break it?
Yes.
You let me fill it in.
Hmm. That is true. However,
Yeah,
I let
it is
you.
all
Told
Greedy's
you.
fault.
Oh, it's my fault.
Yeah,
Yes,
it's
you're right.
Who let Flou submit a ranking?
Hmm. Anyways, on to how we actually scored the list. So, how we did this is I reached out to prominent Little Cup community members. They were invited to rank their top 15 Little Cup Pokemon of all time. How we got those then points were... Holy, I've already broken things. Gotta love it. Oh well. How we then got the point system is whatever the Pokemon they ranked first got a total of 15 points. Second place for them got 14, all the way down to 15th place, getting 1. We then also have our own personal rankings as the four of us in call here, and the Pokemon with the most points then ended up as the top 10 Pokemon. So we got 52 responses in about a little over a week. I was pretty happy with the turnout we got. I got members, young and old, new and young and old, new and old. We got pretty much anyone I could get to respond. But y'all ready to hop in and see what we got in here?
Let's do
Yes,
this.
sir.
All right. So at 15th place, we have Munchlax getting 76
My
points.
goat.
However, none of us even had it in our top 15. So Munchlax, the lowest on our ranked list, Munchlax dominance in DPP Little Cup and usability in Gen 7 narrows it 8 points above 16th place. Now, Reg, you can see here in Henny Wednesday, none of us had this in our top 15. None of the four of us and Muhammad all
Very
even
sad,
thought to
very
include
sad.
this guy. So how did the rest of the community get to this point and get him at number 15?
Well, I thought about ranking him. I really wanted to. He's obviously my favorite, as you can see with my profile picture.
We can't
But
see.
the ranking just comes from Munchlax being so utterly dominant in one generation that it's almost not even comparable to any other ones, for even compared to other Pokemon that we may be seeing later on. Hint hint. But it's so utterly dominant that I think a lot of people just saw how good it was and decided that it needed to be ranked, even though it's not really relevant in gens in any gen after Gen 4, except being pretty good and underrated in Gen 7.
All right, now I asked this before our recording. How good? All right, Flou, as our Sun and Moon person, how actually good is this thing in Sun and Moon? Because I see it in A on the VRs, and I was like, this has got to be fake, surely. How
Yo,
fake
he
or
is?
real is this?
He's an A.
No, he's not A.
That's
He's
fine.
not A.
Oh, he's B plus. Sorry,
there's
me
no
when I
way.
lie.
Like, he's like fine.
He's fine.
No, Flu is underrating him. He's
No, I
SM
think he's
is
good.
SM is like filled with those like scary special attackers, like specifically Ghastly, Staryu. Like Staryu has no
Abra.
switch-ins. Yeah, and Ghastly, Staryu, Abra, and Munchlax being able to come in and actually pursuit them is like awesome.
I forgot that.
And you just
Access to recycle is also
Mm,
really
yes, you
big.
recycle,
Adds way more-
and yeah, that's the key where you get recovery with recycle juice.
Man, imagine Gen 4 Munchlax had recycle.
it
It does
does.
have recycle.
Wait, why doesn't it
does.
use it then? Excuse me?
We run it
It's
sometimes.
Orin.
You
It's
just
Orin.
Yeah.
You know,
Orin's not
just
as good as
ignore it.
Grey Goose.
that's a great point. That's a great point.
Mhm.
You guys, as
I
soon as you
pretend
said that,
I
I
do
was like, oh
not
my
see
god,
it.
ban this guy. I was like, what do you mean you can recycle? I don't think I've seen that.
It's
You know
used
what? Maybe
a
he should
little
have been 14th. Why is he all the way down here? All right. But Midas, is there anything else you have to add on Munchlax other than hey, he recycles?
I mean, Pursuit was already mentioned. It's really the only Pursuit mon aside from like Grimer Alola and Scarf Poniard that can combat Abra and Ghastly in their strongest gens.
All right. Well, I think that's well said. So as we get on, oh, I love it when the buttons don't work. All right. For our number 14th place, we had Marini. So Marini, just spoilers on the list. The newest Pokemon on this list is the only Mon from Generation 7, with its consistent high rankings in all three of those gens. However, for almost all of them, 7th, 8th, and 9th gen of Little Cup, it is not actually seen as the best poison type / fighting resistance of its tier. Flou, you're a Sun and Moon expert. Would you agree with my statement? Is Marini is not the best fighting resist in Gen 7, 8, and 9? Mostly 7.
I think it's a pretty even tie between it and Fungus.
In Sun and Moon?
Yeah.
All right. Just going off the VRs, because, again, I don't play this tier. I think Sun and Moon is terrible. But
Shut up.
they got Fungus in A+, and they have Marini in A. So I was like, oh, we making a distinct difference here. So I was hoping you had a little more to say than that. Jeez,
I don't
bro.
know. Timber's in A when he should be A+. It's outdated.
It was updated 3 months ago.
I
Still
think
wrong.
part of it's like it's lower ranking is that it's obviously Diglett weak.
Diglett
So
trapped.
yeah, you can get trapped. But it's a lot less abusable than Fungus is. Like once Fungus pops Spore, then
Everybody's
kind
coming
of-
in for free.
yeah. While Marini, you can actually you can Sludge Bomb Poison, you can Scald Burn, which is huge, and obviously you can use Knockoff.
Yeah,
Which
knockoff in Gen 7 and
Also
8.
has Covet.
Definitely a big
Yeah.
viability.
Yeah.
switch. That's why
It can also play as a lure with ICMZ.
Oh yeah, of course, that's a good mention. Z-Mare is definitely a relevant mon where you can get that surprise Oko on Vullaby turn 1, and it's awesome.
yeah, I would get surprised Oko because I was already
Yes.
in Gen 9. I'm like, dude, we're pulling out Mudshot. Like, we're pulling out the nonsense if we got to pull out Mudshot for the other Marinis.
Whoa, don't
ICMZ.
disrespect my baby. That mudshot ice beam set,
It's
it's
the
the only
truth
way
right now.
Marini's actually viable.
I mean, if
No,
you-
it's
if
literally
you
the
want-
truth right now. It's the best set.
If you want to talk about it greedy in yeah, talk about Marini and SV.
We should make you the host, bro. Jeez, all right.
I'm saying
all right.
you're the SV guy, bro.
Yeah, that is true. Yeah, no, Scarlet Violet, this thing truly just has no switch-ins. Everything is 2 KO'd by Sludge Bomb and Ice Beam, and then you get Mudshot for the Marini mirrors, and this thing is just a menace to switch into, because you're like, oh, I need to pivot in my Mienfoo on Mudshot. Oh, he went for Sludge Bomb, it did 48%. Oh, I got poisoned, now I'm 2 KO'd. If there's Rocks up, Fungus is getting 2 KO'd by Ice Beam. Regenerator, obviously, none of us somehow bringing this up, but Regenerator, this thing is broken. Broken ability. It's the only reason this thing could probably switch into Mienfoo as well as it's able to. And yeah, being ground wheat, definitely not a fan, but like you gotta take your points, but just water poison, just a really good typing.
Gen 9 Marini really is also like a underdog story, considering he lost both Scald and Knockoff. And
Yeah.
he's still very good.
Yeah.
Well, it took a lot of bans for Marini to actually see a lot of use. Max special attack and speed investment has been a major boon to Marini as techs, where it was previously like unviable. You basically could only run Fungus, especially when Voltorber's around. 2 moves we haven't mentioned: Iron Defense and Toxic Spikes. In
Yeah,
Gen 7,
definitely.
Toxic Spikes, given that poison types are usually the switch-in to Marini, you end up setting it down, and you can easily put your opponent in a position where stuff has to get permanently crippled. And Iron Defense is a win condition. Is even with Evil Light gone, Marini will eat every move at +4. And with Recover PP being high in 7 and 8, you can pull it off. Even in 9,
Yeah, even at 9.
you can just like win end games.
2024, IDEF Marini, this thing was going crazy. This thing was just winning games by itself. You click Terra, click Terra Dragon, and you're like, yep, I'm getting 4 kills now. Good luck.
Yeah, the lack of Gothita in 7 and 8 really helps it. Versus in 9, Gothita's its natural predator, I'd say.
Yeah, being able to, because of the high usage of the fast Marinis, like the basically dropping the bulk for a special attack, Mienfoo U-turn into just Gothita Psychic just outright kills you. So you're almost literally never, like if there's a Goth, you're just like, oh, my Marini is always going to be scared. But I think we were close to accurately ranking this. The community had it at 14th. We had it as 15th ourselves. Mostly Mohammed Al's fault, but Flou, you gave it one of its 6 points. We can blame you because you're here with
He
us.
deserves it.
Yeah.
He deserves it.
Yeah.
I was
For
the
me, I
only
think the
person to not
reason-
rate it, right?
No,
No, I
literally,
didn't either. It was me,
the
you,
3 of
and
us.
Greed,
It was
yeah.
literally Flou and Mohammed Al who did.
For
Oh,
me,
wow.
one of the reasons I think what hurts it is like for one, it's a Gen 7 mon, so it just has less time to really show like its strengths. Even though it's obviously really notable in all of 7, 8, and 9, but in like it's not the I think Fungus is better in Gen 7. Coughing is definitely better in Gen 8. And yeah, it's a kind of a toss up again in Gen 9. So like for me personally, I couldn't rank it compared to a lot of other Pokemon. It would probably end up being closer to like my 20 rank. But that's just how I felt. I definitely understand other people ranking it in the top 15.
How it got here, yeah. I think if come Gen 10, if Marini is in Little Cup again, so actually in the decks,
Hmm.
I think this thing is 4 generations. I mean, it's in probably A minus the lowest in 7, 8, and 9. So this thing
Hmm.
has another gen of in Gen 10 wins waves. It's also good there. I mean, this thing
Yeah.
could very easily.
Listen,
I think honestly, probably like sneak it to the top 10 low key, because
yeah.
like
I mean, hey, as long as a certain weasel is around,
yeah,
this
as long as
guy
that
will,
guy is here,
will
he's
always the guy will always be relevant in Little Cup.
all right. I think that's enough said about Marini, and let's get on to our 13th. In 13th
I've already
place,
forgotten the list, so this is great.
perfect.
Me too.
Well, we'll help you
Let's
remember some of
go.
it. It's Ponyta
Ooh.
with 148 points. We also rank this as our 13th best. Ponyta, I unfortunately Scarlet Violet main here. That Pokemon's not in Scarlet Violet. I can't really tell you much about it. So Midas, what can you tell us about Ponyta? I think you had this semi highly ranked as well. Source, I hope so.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure I had it near and around the 10th slot. I'd
Wow.
say it's one of the highest BST mons in the game, well, in that World Cup format. And honestly, it's aged probably better than any other mon on our list because the access to Flame Charge to beat Diglett and Will-O-Wisp is just like really powerful and oppressive for certain teams if that's their only out. Like if and later gens it receives high horsepower. So aforementioned Marini and Chinchou struggle to switch into it later on. So it's a mix of a really potent offensive threat when not heavily invested, while also being able to cripple half the teams. Black
Mhm.
and white, it's probably its weakest gen.
Really?
The rest, it's just like really annoying to deal with.
Oh yeah, the BST point's
Yeah,
a great thing. I think this thing's
yeah,
in like 430, like genuinely something
yeah. It's very
extremely
high.
silly, and it is
It's
always up there when I sort by BST and old gens. And I'm like, who I want to build with. I never clicked Ponyta, but he's always at the top of the list when you sort by BST. I definitely agree that. Well, I feel like it's in most of the gens, it's really only got its two sets. It's got its a Violate with stuff, and then it's got some Berry Juice, more offensive leaning. I think just because of the coverage, it's got him through Stomping Tantrum. It has Wild Charge as well. Will-O-Wisp
something
obviously
tame.
a good moon to cripple physical attackers. Flame Charge when that thing finally comes back. Actually, it has that in older gens. I thought Flame Charge was Trailblaze for a second, but
No, it's Gen 5
yeah. I
where it
mean, yeah,
gets
this thing just
flame
gets the
charge.
BST bully stuff. I mean, what's
Hmm.
its special attack has got to be good too, because Gen 3 is a
It
little
is, yeah. I
scary.
mean,
That thing's using special. I
it's
mean, overheat. That thing is
its
blowing stuff
special
up.
sets. Its special sets are it's the only set in. Actually, that's not true in Gen 3 because you can run Body Slam in Gen 3, but but stab fire moves are obviously going to be special. The hidden power like special sets are good in in Gen 6 and Gen 7. Uh, Not really good in Gen 8 because hidden power doesn't exist anymore. Something you also didn't mention is Z Ponyta in Gen 7.
Mm,
Being you can run Z Wild Charge, you can run Z Flare Blitz. Uh, I think people run like Z Solar Blade or whatever the grass move is to get Bloom Doom to nuke Onyx.
right.
It's fast. It has different options. You know what it's gonna do. It's gonna click Fire Move. It's gonna click Will-O-Wisp, but it's just good at what it does.
Oh, and
Definitely.
Flame Body.
Oh
Yeah,
One of
yeah.
the
that's a great
most
mention.
yeah, plus it
30% of the
combined with Morning
time.
Sun, it's really able to just sit on a lot of threats.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think Wisp is just so hard to switch into for a lot of teams, um,
Across
especially before
generations.
like especially when Wisp is doing more damage in Gen 6.
Oh
Like
yeah.
you get to
Gens
be
3
you
to
get to be the
5. Good
pseudo
luck.
yeah you get to be the pseudo fighting check by burning things.
Yeah. All right. Anything else to say on Ponyta as we move on to number 12? Sounds like a no. All right. Our number 12th ranking, Pharisee. at a massive jump here. So Ponyta was 148 points, Pharisee sitting at a 212, and we honestly, if anything, snubbed. We ranked it at 8th, but community ranking it at 12th. Pharisee, I can just tell you this guy does one thing. He's a T-Wave bot. But anyone want to give a more accurate description of what he's doing in an old gen?
Whoa, T-Wave bot is crazy. This is the best defensive
That's
mod of all
slanderous.
time in the tier.
All time. Then why is he
All
number
time.
12?
Because think about it from
Passiveness.
yeah, its passiveness is probably its biggest issue. It doesn't get
Mhm.
knockoff in 5, so it is kind of a T-Wave bot there. But
Mm.
it's able to go mixed attacker, bullet seed for people behind substitutes for Sashbra. It gets eventually we find Giga Drain and Thunderbolt, or later on just Mono Giga is superior in most gens because you get to ignore Scold Burns.
Mhm.
But
All right.
knock off Axis later on. And Stealth Rocks and Spikes, it's really the only user of Spikes that isn't on offensive teams.
True. Yeah, a lot of for more older gens, you definitely got Dwebble, and then Scarlet Violet, you sometimes got Glimmet. But Stealth Rocks to hit a bird we'll see later on, probably valued as more important for most teams.
Mhm. Yeah, it's just I think it's you said it before. I think it's the greatest utility Pokemon that LC has ever had. Might have said defensive. I would say more utility just because you have both hazards. You have Thunder Wave, you have knockoff. So it is passive, but it's also really hard to switch into. If certain teams don't have the right coverage for it, like if in the 5, 6, and 7, if a team doesn't have like a hidden power fire, then like Pharaoh is just going to eat you alive.
Definitely. This would have seriously been an interesting mon for Scarlet Violet because mostly for Voltorb Hisui, however you would just get T blasted, but I could see in a world if there was no Terra Blast in like we'll say like Nashville decks because that's the only two of those things that exist on. But this thing would be
Mhm.
I mean this thing would be good in Scarlet Violet.
Oh, it would be elite in Scarlet and Violet. Like
Yeah.
think about it. Think how many things this thing can come in on. Like
You're coming in on Glimmet, you're coming in on
Just
Torb if no T
destroy
Fairies,
Blast.
Glims, yeah,
Fairies.
destroy Tink. Or I mean, Tink can knock you off, but like
Yeah, you're gonna have those
Pharaoh,
spikes. You're coming in on
yeah,
Fungus. Oh my god.
yeah, Fungus can Terra Blast you. Um,
Terra Blast
Mudbray.
Fungus, what have you been running?
No, I'm saying Fungus can't. Oh yeah, I meant to say Fungus can't hidden power you. You can Toad School you beat really because you can knock and Giga it. So you're a hazard setter that can Toad School doesn't love coming in on. Like it would be really really good.
Yeah.
Yeah,
The
the unique typing and being one of the only steals that isn't uh, nuked by the special attackers is
Hmm.
really relevant. Even with HP Fire, it can really live it unless they're Life Orb boosted.
Yeah, that's a good
And being
point.
able to
Abra,
resist the
yeah, Snakes.
combination, yeah, and the combination of resisting water moves and Ice Beam, unlike Fungus, so it's more of a consistent check, and it's not able to be
Rather,
trapped.
yeah, definitely that's definitely a big point where it's not as trappable as the other steel types are. Um, well, I say other steel types. It's kind of just one other one, but it's got that unique capability of it.
Yeah, definitely a mon that would have been nice to have in Scarlet Violet. And
Hmm.
personally, I think I already forgot who said it, but the passivity of it is probably why the masses, put it all the way down here at
Hmm.
12th. While we at least a
Yeah.
respectable 8th place, I definitely agree this is a top 8 of all time. Not top 10 of all time. I don't know about 8th. I don't think I
Hmm.
put it there. But
I
let's
think
move
I think
on.
Midas had it highest with fifth.
5th.
It's so good. It's the
Hmm.
only offensive Porygon check in Gen, really.
You know what? That's a great point. Well, we'll go on to our number 11th. Barely missing the top 10, Chinchou. Chinchou, again, barely
Mm.
missing the top 10 in all 7 generations of Little Cup and is ranked above 20th place, and their VRs, like, is in the top 20 for all 7 gens with a total of 223 points. So if we just go very quickly back to Pharisee, Pharisee at 212 here, Chinchou barely above it at 223,
Mhm.
and we had it as ninth. So we also put some respect on Chinchou's name, having it at ninth place within our top 10. So Flou, we hadn't heard from you in a bit. What has given Chinchou such longevity that through two plus decades of Pokemon, we're still talking about it? Bro's
Flou,
dead.
you're alive.
No.
Okay, here I'll answer for Flou.
Yeah,
I think
answer for Flou. Save us.
it's that
Reg.
unique
I gotta edit that in.
thing.
Thank you.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. It's what's so good about Chinchou is that it's that unique typing. It's that ability. It's that it's that beautiful move named Volt Switch.
Mm,
Uh, in Gens 3 and 4, it doesn't have Volt Switch, but it's really really good in Gen 3, especially given some recent meta developments, because of the Elekid and Voltorb are so good there. It's really really good in Gen 4. You click Hydro Pump, you click Thunderwave, or you click Thunderbolt, and Munchlax and Chinchou, opposing Chinchou, are the only real things that are they're coming in on it. I think that's something that's kind of defined Chinchou, is that nothing is 100% safe coming into it, except very few things, except for opposing Chinchou. Volt Switch is just, you know,
cheap.
switching moves are broken, and getting momentum and clicking, stab electric move is just really good.
Yeah. Okay, I gotta agree with you there. And I love how you said the abilities, but this thing does also technically get water absorb as well. Obviously, way more
Yeah,
niche, and
yeah,
I feel like I only see that ever in like Gen 5, but
yeah, yeah.
it is still, yeah, Volt absorb, sorry, just such a good ability of being able to just have an electric immunity on your team while not like being a ground type and becoming ground weak. Oh, there goes the graphic.
Yeah.
Chinchou
And
switching into Chinchou has been an epidemic.
yeah.
Going back to
Didn't
Volt
wait,
Switch's
wait.
creation.
Didn't a tier leader try and make that illegal?
What?
Volt Switch did in fact
Yeah.
get banned. You put it on an April Fool's probably.
Yeah. It was kind of a joke. But
But
yeah, Chinchou is at like its worst gens are 7 and 8, and it's still usable in those. Like you can totally bring it and make a team with it. That's perfectly fine. It's a very consistent mon across the gens, I would say.
I think what's most interesting about Chinchou is that it tends to pivot between being a defensive mon and an aggressive mon, while also maintaining that ability to coverage, spread Thunder Wave, and most cute thing it has is Sucker Punch access to pop Air Balloon
Mm-hmm.
Diglett and allow for counter traps. But
Yep.
in 9, 4, and sometimes 3, agility is an offensive spin on the set.
I don't
True.
think it learns it in
And
Gen 3.
it's not. Oh, it does not. Right. I am
Yeah.
messing up there. But 9 and,
Well, I mean,
and
4,
4,
yeah,
Four,
4
yeah,
for
is
sure.
like the key one. I would
it
say even
is.
I've
It's.
seen Agility Chow in 5 too. Um,
I'm questioning whoever loads that in 5, but
I'm questioning whoever
honestly,
loads it in
in
9.
5, it has survived every meta change. Despite the 6 post-gen bannings, it has managed to maintain relevancy
Mhm.
from going from defensive discharge sets that handle Murkrow through Rest Talk
Okay, Grandpa.
to going to defensive with Toxic, and most commonly now I'd say it's just Volt Absorb pivot with Toxic or Water Absorb to get past Trace from Porygon.
Mhm.
In 6, it's also a really tricky mon because, as Reg said, it's hard to switch into. But Evilite and Berry Juice forces different reactions, and on the off chance it's Scarf being a offensive fletchling punish that you can't really tell what its set is immediately off the bat, makes it very tricky to handle.
Sure.
Mhm.
And now, semi-similar to Ponyta, this thing also gets a cheap move called Scald. Now, we talked about it spreading
Yes.
that status, but
Yep.
having to risk pretty much any physical attacker, not that many are ever wanting to switch into Chinchou anyways, but having to take that 30% chance for a burn, especially Gen 5, where it'll say you're switching is trying to be that Porygon, you're trying to trace Volt Absorb. Oh, they're actually Water Absorb, and they've Scald Burnt me. You're taking that, 12% per turn because of the higher burn damage it does. Truly,
Yeah, yeah.
just the longevity speaks for itself. For truly just all 7 viable gens of Little Cup, you'll see Chinchou, and you'll never be excited to go against one. But
Well, SM not really, but the rest, yeah.
well, SM, he was stretching my fun fact of it's ranked above 20th in all of them. It's contention for 20th. It's like in the tier where it goes like 17th to 22nd. So I just made a judgment call. I was like, congrats, you're 20th. So you're top 20 in all gens. Congrats.
Yeah.
Good for you,
It's not
Jinjo.
like it's not like a complete meme Pokemon in Gen 7. You
Certainly
can
not.
It's not
you can load
broken.
it.
All right. Well, now that gets us from 15th to 11th, but now entering our top 10, we have Timber. Timber barely scoring above Chinchou, only at 12 points. We ranked this as 11th, barely missing. Timber, Flou, you left me hanging on the last one. You gotta bail yourself out here. Please tell us
My
about
bad.
Timber and why the community think this thing is top 10.
Yo, this guy's crazy in SM. That's all I can
Doing
say.
what?
Why is he so good in SM?
Why is he so good in
Flu?
SM? Better
There's a
than me
bunch
and
of
Fu
shit.
some were saying.
Yes, he is better
True.
than Flu in that shit. I was about to say Flu sucks in SM. Mach Punch is always very good, on top of having somewhat reliable recovery compared to Fu's Regenerator. And then he gets to pick and choose his counters. He has Poison Jab for Spritzy, Thunder Punch for Marini, Ice Punch or Fire Punch for Fungus.
Mhm.
It's really hard to deal with him. You can never really truly guess the set or that fourth move that he might have, and he also has Bulk Up with more specially defensive sets, and he can 1v1 Vol with a more defensively inclined set,
Yeah,
which is
I
which is
think
awesome.
that's one of my favorite things about SM is that because Volby is him in SM. That's the
Whoa,
Volgen
whoa,
and
Volby is her.
Her. Whoa. Yeah.
her. Okay, this is true. My
Banned.
apologies.
Canceled.
I didn't
Goodbye,
mean
Reg. You know what? We're kicking you off. We're getting
Goodbye.
Cooper in.
listen. She can be him too. Okay, and
Good save.
and
Yeah, true. You outworked us.
and and just being able to click a really strong Mach Punch in a tier that is defined by its chaos, uh, I think is just one of my favorite things. And like Flu was talking about, it's so hard to switch into Drain Punch, into Knockoff, into coverage of choice. In some other gens, it's that that's a little bit the interactions are a little bit different, but in SM, I feel like that is Timber's most defining gen, I would claim, and he just does it so well. Flu mentioned it. I think it's better than Mienfu in Gen 7. I didn't rank him as highly. I think he was outside my top 10. Going back, it's definitely one that I could see myself changing my opinion on, given more thought, or just given ask me on a different day type
On a
of deal.
different day, yeah. I mean, we were
Yeah.
the five of us. Well, the four of us did call him Mohamed. I mean, we were right there. We had it as 11th. We were really close to putting it in there, but
Hmm.
yeah. I think honestly, what might have led to also my ranking of this is just how far he fell off a cliff in Scarlet Violet. This thing I think is
Yeah.
generously ranked in B minus, where I truly could not tell you the last time I saw a Timber. This guy, it was like 2024 when this guy was like, "Oh, you're real," because we need to handle this guy called Scraggy, and since then he's been gone, nowhere to be
We
seen.
tried really hard to make him work in SV, and
Yeah.
it just never clicked.
Yeah, it's strange because I feel like there are some things that Fungus does like or that Timber does like because Fungus is everywhere and you can run your Ice Punch a lot more freely than I think you can in like 8 or 7.
And a lot of the strong
Um,
special attackers missing from this
yeah,
generation that
Yeah,
Timber
yeah.
loving its life
Abra,
for.
and no
Mm-hmm.
C star.
No
Yep.
Star,
The
no Abra,
main thing,
Ghastly Band.
and probably the biggest reason Timber is ranked this low, is because it's constantly in competition with
With
debatably the best Mon ever in me and Fu.
Mm.
mm-hmm.
Uh,
Yeah, he's the little brother fighting type.
Yeah,
yeah. And despite that, it has come out as nearly on par or better than me and Fu in several generations. The more offensive a tier is, the more Timber tends to shine because as games get shorter, Regenerator becomes less valuable, and Timber's raw trading ability outshines me and Fu.
Yeah, I think
Uh,
I think with SM that like highlights what you're talking about expertly, I think.
yeah, and in
yeah,
Oros, the presence of fairy types on top of Fungus, on top of Fletchling, really makes it
Yeah.
its worst gen, other than SV.
Hmm.
In SV, it just doesn't function with Terra, and me and Fu is at its strongest ever.
Yeah, me
Mhm.
and Fu probably. I think it was like
Yeah.
90 to 95% usage. Last we looked,
Mhm.
this thing is. I don't think you could ask for anything cheaper for Scarlet Violet Little Cup. But Timber, yeah,
Mhm.
always having to play second best for the most part in most generations of Little Cup, yet still finding its home in multiple of them really just shows that, hey, you get rid of just one little guy, one little weasel. This thing would be much higher up on our list, I think. And
Yeah.
I think even though I think as us as friends we snubbed Timber, I think it's a well deserved top 10.
Which
Yeah.
one of us had the highest rating for it?
Ooh, don't put me on the spot
I
like
can
that.
I can tell you right now, it's
I think multiple. All right,
me.
myself.
Sorry, Greedy, Midas, and Flou all ranked it ninth.
Yeah,
Wow. So,
I
Reg,
see.
you betrayed your favorite mon next to Munchlax.
Yeah, what the hell?
This is. I mean, I gotta say, this is one of my favorite LC mons ever to use. Like, I
yeah,
I just get along really well with how
yeah. Sword and
Timber
Shield. This guy's
plays.
pulling up with Timber Grookey every game, and he's winning every game.
Whoa! Don't leak, don't leak.
Oh, bro, just look at your scout. It's not a leak. It's just true.
Yeah.
But no, yeah, made the
Mhm.
top 10.
I guess
Congratulations, Timber.
the one other notable thing I guess to mention is that in BW in Gen 5, his set he doesn't run the same ability he does in other gens. He runs Guts as opposed to Iron Fist. Um, and so you actually get to switch into Will-O-Wisp, one of the most broken moves ever, on the most common Pokemon in the tier, Ghastly, or maybe not most common, but one of.
One of.
And yeah, and so I think that's something else worth noting.
Oh, did we mention it's two amazing abilities?
Aren't all
No.
three good? We just kind
What's
of.
the third
Sheer
one?
Force is Sheer
Iron
Force is
Fist,
terrible.
Guts, Sheer Force. Yeah, Sheer. Get out of here.
I don't know.
It
Look,
has
some-
no
I mean,
move
you
to
should-
take
you should
advantage
make
of Sheer
mention.
Force.
I don't know. Apparently, look, there's an Eric game yesterday. He had a Sheer Force Timber, and I was like, "What is Sheer Force doing better on your Ice Punch?" And the owner of the pace didn't actually give me an answer. But he's like, "Just Source Trust." But it does exist. He does have that ability.
It does exist.
Yeah. It's interesting though that Iron Fist is the preferred gen in later ones because elemental punches plus knockoff are superior to bulk up generally.
Yeah, yeah.
But in black
Like
and white,
bulk up
Guts,
Wisp is. Or, sorry, go ahead.
there you go. Guts is the prevailing ability most of the time because you got to worry about toxic spikes more than in later gens. And the boost from the ability to have payback over me and Fu knockoff there, OHKO and Ghastly is really huge. And Guts boosted Drain Punch is just like your Timber is immortal. That's why I think he's better than me and Fu in the generation.
Fair
Hot
enough.
take.
Yeah,
Well, it is a hot
definitely
take.
is a hot take.
By the numbers, it is.
By the numbers, unfortunately. Now, for our last three, all been really close to each other. So, Pharisee was 212 points, Chin Chow only 11 away at 223, and then Timber only 12 above that at 235. So, really, just like one or two people vote differently. Any one of those three could have ended up in our top 10 at this number 10 position. But to move onwards from Timber, we have our number 9th spot as Staryu. Staryu as Little Cup's probably best water type of all time, and mostly especially after receiving its hidden ability of Analytic in Gen 6 helped propel this thing to a top meta threat. Flou, what do you have to say on Staryu? On really just, especially in Sun and Moon, where I would argue is his best gen, unless you want to say Gen 3. What is
I think it's
what has made
undoubtedly
this guy so good?
I would say SM is its best gen. Yeah. I think the spin sets are really bad. People tend to use them on bird spam. I still think they suck, but the real kicker is Z sets. You have Icium, Psychium, Ferium, and Electrium have been used, and there's probably room for maybe one more. But trying to figure
Waterium.
out yeah, Waterium.
What are you
Just
watering
trying to
them?
figure out which. That's just you just high base
Just a
power
big noob.
stab hydro pump.
High
bro.
base power stat. You know it. They got me.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
we're giving him all this glaze, yet we had him 12th. So
We did have him
I
12.
we
think
did have a 12.
I
What
think
did we
I
miss?
had Staryu the highest rank out of all of us.
Time to check the stats.
Um,
You did in
I don't think
fact.
I rated it high.
Oh my,
Yes.
Flou, you didn't even rank it.
I didn't.
Oh, wow.
Didn't even make
yeah.
your top 15.
Well,
All right. I think Staryu is like two things that like are going for it. For one, it is the best hazard removal in like all of LC, and I don't think it's close. It's
100%
hazards
agree.
are a big part of our tier. We can't run heavy duty boots like other gens or like other like level 100 and other tiers. Well, I suppose you can, but it's not good. Um, hazards are a defining feature, and Staryu is not the only removal in across the gens, but I do think it's the best, and I don't think it's close. But you also have the offensive sets, which Flou talked about. Definitely most potent in Gen 7. Definitely still good in Gen 8, for example. I think Life Orb Staryu is really, really good in Gen 7. I think Life Orb Staryu is really good in Gen 4 too. Um, I think Staryu is really difficult to handle in Gen 3. It's definitely more of a defensive Pokemon in Gen 5 and Gen 6, but it's I think it's that hazard removal aspect is still really important. I think this guy would be stupid broken if it
This would be
existed in Gen 9.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
that Gen
Yeah.
1 syndrome, bro. Why is he's got all the moves. He's got your water move, he's got ice beam, he's got psychic, he's got thunderbolt.
Yeah.
He had hidden power in old gens. This thing could hit whenever
You
it
have
wanted.
recovery. It's just
And then
so
you get
good. And of course, like, it's
buffed
19
rapid spin in
speed.
Gen 9, so he gets the speed boost
Yeah,
and
or
clears your
Gen 8.
hazards. This Gen 8, sorry. But yeah, this thing Gen 9, this thing's getting banned.
Yeah, this
Yeah,
guy is
and like we said,
customizable.
like the second fastest speed tier in all of LC at 19 speed. It obviously has competition, but that's with other Pokemon. But I think that's also a really defining part of why it's so good.
Can't forget one of the best moves in all time in Thunder Wave.
Ah,
Of
Yellow
course.
magic.
this is the two-wave bot, not Pharisee. This is Tim.
No Ferroseed is.
I don't know. You should have. Oh, it also gets Scald too. You want to talk about annoying
Yep,
Pokemon
you
right
have
here?
Scald.
Oh,
You could all three of Scald, Surf, and Hydro Pump are all viable moves. Like it has the coverage.
Has
It's just
coverage. Not to mention on
Staryu's
those.
just a good mon, man.
Not to mention on those defensive
There's
sets for Gens 5 and 6. It also gets natural
like I
cure.
think, yeah, of course,
So-
of course.
So while in
So-
later generations, probably more likely to run into analytic to try and get those boosted damage on defensive switch-ins. Gen 5 and 6, where Staryu's really more dependent on I'm not sure how great its bulk is, but a Violite does enough. But its access to recovery and being able to clear hazards, plus natural cure if you randomly get a Scald Burn or a Toxic or a T-Wave in there, very useful for some of those more defensive teams looking for it.
yeah, and
No,
what
definitely.
it's really hard to take like switch in on that Z move when it's analytic boosted, and then living the move after
Mhm.
that because Staryu is typically outspeeding you.
Yeah, analytics 1.3 boost if I remember right. Right.
Yep.
Sounds
Yep.
correct.
Now,
Yeah.
another thing to mention is that Staryu, the reason why we may have underrated Staryu compared
Yeah,
to the majority
12,
of people
yeah.
is that similar to Ferroseed, in other people's minds, it's not the star of the show in a lot of its gens.
Ah,
It's
Yeah.
a support piece
Yes.
until it gets analytic and it's able to just fire out these attacks you can't really deal with because offensive waters are really difficult for LC in general to handle. But the support pieces are naturally going to be undervalued.
Mm-hmm. Depending on who you ask, but that's definitely how like the general community feels.
definitely. Yeah.
Mhm.
Well,
And
we
it
had
also
not,
it's worth noting it faces competition with other water type Chinchou that we talked about earlier.
and just
Yeah, they
other
definitely fulfill
19
different
speed
roles,
special
but
attackers.
yeah. So yeah,
But, well, we might have not had it in our top 10. I think yet another one I gotta give our props to Staryu. You know it, you did it. And also, longevity as well, same as Chinchou. Pretty much been there in almost all of
good.
them. Didn't get Scarlet Violet, but you would have been banned there, so honestly, good for you. You dodged a bullet with that one. You would
Yep.
not be legal. You would have been banned week 1. But As we
Would've
move
gotten
on,
more credit on the rankings.
I don't know. I feel like some people they saw banned as bad, where
Listen,
I was more of a
I
banned as
saw
good.
yeah, I had start you high, so there you go. There's my goat.
You had it eighth. Wow, you had it one spot higher than here.
Yes, correct.
But now we go to our actual eighth best Pokemon, and on our list, and we have Fungus. Fungus with a massive jump up. So Staryu, for example, 252 points. Fungus here getting 328. While we ranked it as 10th, Fungus. The Pokemon and the reason why Sleep's banned in Black, White, Little Cup, Fungus is the community's best fighting resist in the tier. Midas, we started with Black and White, so we'll start this with you. How can you speak on the longevity of Fungus on where arguably Black and White's probably its worst tier currently because of the Sleep ban? But how good was this thing when you were able to click Spore with no consequences?
To explain just how good Fungus was, it was a top 5 mon in a tier that had Insomnia, Murkrow, Misdreavus that's able to substitute on it, and a Scraggy that will just set up on it. And it was still amazing because Sleep is so oppressive in that generation. Now, up after the generation Sleep got banned, it's not amazing, but it's still a really annoying offensive threat. Regenerator, being able to shrug off hazards and switch into the fighting types and just fire off sludge bombs, stun spores, HP fires. It's just an annoying mon to deal with. Spore just took that to an 11.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I mean, even in gens where Sleep is not super broken, so 6 all the way up to Scarlet Violet, this thing is... I'm never happy to go against a Fungus. Unless I have, like, a Goth. But yeah, even when I have a Goth, I'm like, oh, gotta deal with Fungus now. Someone's gotta go to bed. And we gotta figure it out
Yep.
from there. Play 5 versus 5.
I think another thing that just highlights how oppressive Fungus is when you look at across the generation and how people are dealing with Fungus counterplay. And so you looked at things like people running Overcoat on Vullaby, the worst ability. People in Scarlet and Violet, people ran safety goggles of all things to avoid sleep. People would run sleep talk. A terrible move that you don't really ever want to, you want to be running other moves. But, sometimes if your Fungus matchup isn't so great, sometimes you just got to deal with it and run sleep talk. Uh, Sleep is just that you click Spore is just a broken move. Sleep is a broken mechanic. And this is the only, I guess not the only, but far and above the best user of it in Little Cup. And just it makes him the premier fighting switch in.
Absolutely agree. I'll be curious to see how future Pokemon games handle sleep, because Pokemon Champions, if y'all don't know, is you can no longer 3-turn sleep. It is now your one
Yeah,
turn of sleep is
I heard
guaranteed. You
that.
have a 1 in a 3 chance to wake up on turn 2, and then turn 3 you're awake. So we'll have to see if that is implemented for Winds and Waves and Pokemon games onwards past that, how Fungus is
That would
affected.
that would
But
definitely impact its viability, I think.
absolutely, because the
Uh,
main thing
Yep.
is Fungus before it's put a Pokemon to sleep and Fungus after it's put a Pokemon to sleep. At least in Scarlet Violet, it's a very big difference of
no,
having to
you're
try
definitely
and
right.
manage of who your sleep slack is, if at all, trying to maybe perhaps pivot a Toad School on what you think is Spore, but then they Sludge Bomb poisoned you, and now you're at 2/3 your HP and poisoned. Never fun to switch
Mhm.
into unless you have your own, and then you just get into very fun, entertaining Fungus wars.
Yeah. I will say it's worth noting that Gen 8 is probably its second worst generation outside of BW because now that Hidden Power doesn't exist, you cannot run HP Fire to hit Pharaoh Seed, and so now you are completely destroyed by Pharaoh.
Yeah, you're letting him get
And
all
so
3 spikes up.
yeah, so you give a complete momentum loss into Pharaoh Seed. This makes some people, really dislike Fungus in Gen 8, but even in spite of that, Fungus still makes, it shows up. It's still doing the same old Fungus things.
For sure. All right, as we move on to our number 7th
Getting the
Pokemon, we have Pawniard getting 370 points. We actually rated this the same as the
Mhm.
community as 7th. Pawniard, probably not even probably, just what we have down as our best steel type of the format. Poniard, both defensively and offensively, just puts on a lot of pressure into all kinds of little cup teams, especially in Gen 6, where the buff of knockoff turned this thing into, at least that format, probably an arguable top 1, top 2 Pokemon of the tier.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, this was exactly where I ranked Poniard. I think it's just so good at the roll compression. You are a flying resist. You are a psychic immune. You click the most broken move ever in once it got buffed in knockoff. You click stealth rock. You have priority in stab sucker punch. It's so good, and it's you can run a violite. You can run choice scarf. Pursuit. I didn't even mention that is a really good option especially in Gen 6 and Gen 7. It's you can run berry juice on it and other gens. It just does what it does.
And it's never fun to go against. Even Gen 9. Oh, we don't see it as much often anymore. Again, also, I think getting a generous B- rank. This thing, for a while, Swords Dance, well, not only when we had to deal with Reggg and Mr. Revis in the tier, this thing was still very clearly number 3. Oh, so long ago now. This thing's fallen off a cliff. But Swords Dance,
I think
even
before DLC dropped, like SD was a demon.
Yeah.
Life Orb was the undisputed best set, I think, by the end.
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
Life Orb,
SD Life Orb.
Dark.
Mm-hmm. I mean, I literally last week lost to a Life Orb Poniard. It was actually against Cooper. I think I was testing with him.
Yeah.
And I was running 15 speed Mienfoo and 15 speed Toad because I was scared of Sancho and Lola. And I was doing really well. He clicked Swords Dance. I went into my tank hard because I was like, I don't know what he's gonna click. Click Swords Dance. I was like, oh, I'll just win the speed tie. Didn't win the speed tie with Encore. He then Sucker Punch killed 5 Pokemon because my Scarf Dog didn't have Whisk. So he just killed Scarf Dog. Yeah. He killed Elekid. Killed Mienfoo. He killed Toad. He killed Meridian. And I was like, wow, I just got reverse swept. So
GG.
Yep.
Yeah, despite losing knockoff in Gen 9, the access to Terra Blast has managed to keep it viable with Fairy or Flying throughout most of the generation, even after Mienfoo came back. But in the previous, in 6 through 8, Mienfoo and Poniard keep each other reasonable within the tier because they're both the best progress makers that exist with knockoff, but they also get stuck handling each other and unable to like fully dominate games because the other one is like constantly crippling the other. In Gen 5, Poniard takes a bigger support role, mainly Choice Scarf with Pursuit, sometimes Substitute with Evilite, because it's immune to Sand Chip. You're able to abuse that and set up on stuff like Ferroseed. But yeah, it's one of the best offensive mons in the tier once it got knockoff.
Yeah, especially
it can just spam it so well. I think
especially
it's easily the best spammer of knock.
Older gens. What generation was Sucker Punch nerfed? Because in like Gens 5
in
and maybe 6, this thing was like what, 80
Yeah,
base?
it was nerfed in Gen 7. Yeah, it was nerfed in Gen 7, so it still has buffed Sucker Punch in Gen 6. The most notable like aspect of that, which I can give you off the top of my head, is that pre-nerf Sucker Punch on Poniard has a 50% chance to OHKO non-Violite Diglett in Gen 6. No longer does that after the Sucker Punch nerf, but in Gen 7s and after. But you can, if you're not running Substitute on your Air Balloon or your Life Orb Diglett, you don't trap Poniard. Poniard just beats you. It can just click Sucker Punch and OHKO you.
Yeah, definitely. I think well deserving of its placement. I think honestly at 7th, I think unfortunately there's a big 6 of Little Cup, and Poniard, try as you might, you're getting gate kept by pretty much all 6 of them. You wall 2 of them, but
part of them.
you're not doing enough, unfortunately. As we move to our 6 best Pokemon, we have Porygon, 411 points. We actually had this as our 5th best on here. Porygon, of the Pokemon on the list, is banned in the most generations of them, being banned in Gens 3, Gen 7, and Gen 9. Yet, both its offensive and defensive sets and all those gens, how good or bad they were, depending on the gen, were just not enough to get it into our top 5. Porygon, I mean, where to start? I don't even know. When do you take this one?
Reg,
All right, I guess.
Gen 3.
All right, let's start at let's start at Gen 3, even though that's kind of like its newest generation in terms of what actually gets played.
Where to
But in
show
Gen
off?
3, for the longest time, it was the best Pokemon in the tier, without a doubt, for every second that it was in. For the longest time, it was the defensive sets where you could just live any hit and you get your citrus berry and you get back to full, and then you can click recycle or you can click thief and you're back to full again. And nothing can OHKO you. And you just have all that recovery. And it was the defensive staple of the tier. And then the offensive sets came into existence with agility and double edge and substitute or thief or hidden power. And they were so absurdly broken that this thing needed to be quick banned because it had no answers. It could tailor to be any of its checks. It was a monster. And that's in just one generation alone.
Yeah, and you made it broken. All your fault.
I did. This was me. It is my fault. You're right.
It's all your fault.
Well, we made the agility sets together.
I perfected the what made it broken. Well, Xing was trying to make it broken.
There's also
It
those
had it had to, it had a
land.
couple of demon sets. Like you could run sharpness on I guess I didn't mention it,
I
but
mean, sharpened.
you would
Sharpen,
trace Arena Trap Diglett, and so you could counter trap Diglett, and that was a major aspect of the tier. And so it kept Diglett in check. But you could also abuse Diglett by coming in, tracing it, preventing Diglett from switching out, and then clicking setup moves. And so that was also part of its dynamic. In Gen 4, nowhere near as good, but still a really good Pokemon. Mostly as a lead. It's kind of like the ultimate anti-lead, where it beats a lot of things, and it can be. It's because its coverage is so insane. You get, you, and you. This is the gen that that Porygon gets to download, so it can get an attack boost or a special attack boost, and that is an insane ability.
Very much.
So now you can get boosted stab normal moves. You have Psychic, you have Thunderbolt, you have Icy Wind. I don't remember if it gets Ice Beam. Yeah, it definitely gets Ice Beam, but you don't really use it in the lead. You can run Hidden Power Fire. It's and all these things just you can run Shadow Ball. All these things just make it so hard to switch into in Gen 4. It's not the best. I think it's like a kind of a B plus Pokemon, but that's kind
Certainly
of just where
usable.
Pori.
I would
Yeah.
say probably its worst generation. No?
Yeah, probably. That's
Probably.
that's great to say.
And
Yeah.
for the
Definitely is.
SS, though,
I was like, yeah, the only other one I'd be able to argue it for would
Or
probably be
SS.
for Gen 5. If Midas, you'd be able to speak more on
Mm,
really what Porygon's. It's the only one I would say arguably for, but like everything else, I'm
No,
like, oh
it's
yeah, this
definitely
guy's
arguably
good.
Jimmy.
But it's got to be for it. But what is Midas? What is Porygon doing in Gen 5 that is getting him still up here into our 6th position?
Yeah, so right before I get to Gen 5, I need to mention
Oh,
Porygon
my
has a
bad.
lot of illegality issues with
Mm.
download that end up limiting it from its full potential until we get to later gens. So no tri attack. It's forced to go with physical normal stabs if
Mhm.
it wants download. Which adds to its versatility because it's a mixed attacker and you have to account for that in the lead position. But for Gen 5, Evilite makes it have to go a more defensive route typically. Its stabs don't hold up super well, but Trace gets a lot of value
Right, of
now.
course.
With Diglett being ever present, it's one of the best counter trappers. It has access to Thunder Wave, Recover, and you typically go non-stab with Thunderbolt, Ice Beam, sometimes Shadow Ball, sometimes Psychic. And it's just a really pesky mon. It's difficult to take down. You generally have to throw a mon at it or hope for variants such as like Sludge Bomb Poison from Ghastly. Offensive sets, no one really runs them. I think there's potential, but you're really limited to like some kind of hidden power. or like funny moves like Hyper Beam is honestly viable, but requires a lot of it's gimmicky. And then in Gen 6 is where Porygon really turns it on. During current gen, defensive was way more used, but meta shifts led to offensive just being the superior set nowadays. You have more options for boosted moves with download because you now have access to all your moves pretty much except for recover, I believe. And that basically just means you're able to burn through everything, even if they're equipped with Evil Light, and you can agility to boost your speed.
And you didn't even
And-
mention, but now Berry Juice, and so you can click agility and live almost any hit, and then Berry Juice will hit you back to full.
Yep. And for Gen 7, it got banned in a drama-filled argument about Z moves because it was a question of whether, Z celebrate. Or no, Z
Conversion.
Z conversion.
I know the
Z
Z move,
conversion.
and I know what it does, but I didn't know there was controversy on him because of said
It is
Z
an
move.
it is an Omni boost.
Yes.
Yeah.
For those who do not know, you just get a +1 boost to all of your stats, and I believe it turns you into whatever the first
type
move
of your
in your move
first
slots
move
are.
slot.
Which I feel like I only ever
Yeah.
saw it be Thunderbolt. But
Yeah, it would be Thunderbolt. You can't get T-waved, and then you can just beat out like Ferroseed, etc. Whatever wants to T-wave you.
Yeah.
Poniard.
I think the controversy is that some people wanted just like that to be banned rather than Pori itself.
It was a question on whether to ban the Mon or the Z move. And
Yeah.
it ended up being that you banned the Mon, not the move. Although later on, we eventually came to the conclusion that Porygon's probably broken, even without access to the Omni boost, because
Honestly, yeah.
it has
Almost
full
definitely.
moveset access. It is like
Yeah.
it was Potential Man in 4, 5, and 6, and in 7, it became what any Potential Man fails to do, and just like actually murder everyone. In Gen 8, it loses hidden power, so it actually is now unable to really touch Ferroseed and Pawniard. But
That's pretty big.
as a Scarfer in that tier, it is one of the most oppressive mons to really switch into, because
I agree.
it's just you are unable to trade effectively into it because barely anything OHKOs it.
Yeah, it
and
has
it is
400
guaranteed
B-
chip
it
on
has
a bunch.
395 BST, almost at 400.
Yeah.
So even with the choice
Yeah,
scarf,
similar to
this thing's-
Ponyta.
Yeah, this thing's bulk is
Mhm.
ridiculous. Even with
I
just
do
a
I do
choice
want to
scarf.
mention for Gen 8, before the Vullaby unban, defensive Porygon was really, 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 really good. And that's because of Teleport in Gen 8 got changed, where you get negative priority on a move. So this guy could come in on Marini, it could come in on Coughing is the big one, really. It could come in on Fungus. You could come in, and then you just get your free momentum switch by clicking Teleport. And then you click Thunder Wave. And and you click Ice Beam and Counter Trap Diglett. This guy was so good at that counter trap role and being a momentum machine with teleport before the Vullaby unban. Offensive stats still exist. I do think defensive was the best at that time. Then the meta changed, and now offensive is the set again. Some people aren't very high on offensive Porygon right now in SS, but I don't think that's very reflective of Porygon as a whole across the gens, and even in Gen 8 itself. There's been times where people wanted Porygon banned in Gen 8.
I believe it. As someone who has technically played Sword and Shield, but only for one tournament, this thing was just the ultimate. Let me just win my coin flips and I win the game. If I click Ice Beam, if I click Thunderbolt on that pawn you're switching in, you take 52 because I'm +1. Yeah, good luck, buddy. I got him for the rest of the game. And just to briefly touch on it, in Scarlet Violet, I believe it was banned within like the first 2 weeks of our tournament where it was legal. This thing was also back to the move legality issues, but not even like to the games themselves. Just the showdown or the battle simulator just did not give this Pokemon recover and try attack. So we were fully stuck with just pure offensive sets, but it's so well equipped to take advantage of Terra Blast already, like before Terra being an 80 base power special move, that you just got to run that on either Choice Scarf or Agility sets. Terra to change out of your normal typing to either Fairy, probably mostly Fairy, that's the one I ran, or Fire actually I ran as well. And you just got to pick and choose which Pokemon you got to beat. This thing was while it could technically be nice in the tier defensively, because I would assume it would still get access to teleport once the Sin finally gets it recover. Like, you're bulky. You're going to, you can actually switch into a couple things. Just the offensive pressure that just stab Terra Blast before you need the Terra, and then that Gen 1 move syndrome of you just get all the coverage in the world that you would ever want. Yeah, I think personally stubbed. I believe wholeheartedly this should have been top 5 all time. And community
Yeah, I agree.
did him dirty. Poor Pori.
I think I had
Yeah.
it top 3.
I think you had it 2.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think you had it 2,
Not
and I
sure
think
where
I had it
placed this
5.
guy.
And I don't know.
He
if
even
he had
had
it 2.
he did have a 1 ranking too.
Where did I
Wow.
put this guy?
Where did you put
Someone
this?
needs to
Are you a
tell me, 'cause
fraud?
I
Are
don't
you a
know.
fraud, Flou? Are you not a Porygon believer?
I don't remember.
You had it 6th below Abra. Shame.
Okay, yeah, that makes sense.
Shame.
Greedy stuff spoiling.
What do you mean spoiling? That's one person. I spoiled his personal rankings. But is technically on for is it spoiling? I don't remember who was 5th. But now finally getting into our top 5. So some of the best Pokemon in Little Cup of all time. We have Ghastly at 565 points. We rank this as our third
Number
best.
3.
Yeah, it's our third best of all time.
Mhm.
Ghastly, I would say the baseline and the only Pokemon on this list with 52 responses to be on every single list. Everything that has so far been included and that will go over after Ghastly. One person somewhere out there did not have them on their list, yet Ghastly remains eternal, was mentioned by 100% of respondents.
This 5th place is a criminal decision, and the community
It
feel
really
ashamed.
is.
I mean, look at our ranking. We had this thing ranked 3rd
We had it
between
3rd.
us all.
And 3rd is
So-
conservative.
Really? Because I believe you had this ranked 1st, correct?
This is the best Mon in LC history.
Then
How did
please.
you
After all
have
the
him?
bans,
Yeah.
all the final meta games, this thing
Okay.
is him. It is it.
Mm,
DPP.
All right, go and
Go
talk
then.
about him.
speak your
Yeah.
truth.
ADP. It's one of the best defensive utility mons in the tier. Unique typing with the cool ability. It's able to. It doesn't have its stabs. It doesn't care. It's gonna T-bolt you. It's gonna boom you. It's gonna thief you. It's gonna do anything it wants, and it's gonna find a way to be successful. In
Honestly,
DPP,
I've run Sludge Bomb on Ghastly before and Shadow Ball.
Yeah,
This thing was
physical-
annoying.
physical is
Shadow,
fine.
Shadow Ball's fine. I just don't think it's really the best thing you want to be doing.
Fair
But for
enough.
Gen
Bandit
4,
set.
Gen 4, this thing has barely any switch-ins. Our best option, Munchlax and Stunky. And Stunky's just risking a speed tie half the time.
Mhm.
And Munchlax. We're switching into Munchlax. You're our best
This is
switching. We're switching into
yeah.
you.
Consensus top 3 Pokemon in Gen 4, and a lot of people think top 2.
I'm a lot of people. Black and White, best Mon in the tier. Undisputed.
Yep.
All the coverage.
Yep.
Gen 1 Mon. Great utility. Knockoff, Wisp, Trick, Black Sludge for recovery if you want it. It has no real switch-ins. Porygon gets poisoned. Volby gets poisoned. If you have the right hidden power,
Mhm.
they're screwed.
Ponyard
Yeah.
gets burnt.
Ponyard gets burnt or HP fired. HP fight. You have Taunt to stop Ferroseed in its tracks. And someone else can take the reins for Gen 6.
Yeah, and go ahead, Flou.
I said not it.
Oh.
I wouldn't want to
Well,
do
and
Gen
Gen
6
Six, I
either.
don't know shit
And Gen
about
6,
that gen, bro.
in Gen 6, I'd say this is probably Ghastly's one of his worst gens in Gen 6. Meanwhile, still being definitely good, but one of the reasons it's not as good is because Fletchling is a Pokemon that exists, and Scarf Ponyard is really really popular in Gen 6, and Fletchling being able to click priority acrobatics while Ghastly being a relatively weak Pokemon, and Ponyard being able to click Scarf Pursuit. Ghastly definitely sees a dip in viability especially compared to 4 and 5, but it's still really good, and it has, it's really damn strong. I think this is where Life Orb, I think, really starts to come out. It doesn't really have the same options that it does in Gen 7, I would argue, but Life Orb Ghastly is the strongest special attacker in all of Little Cup. I don't think that's okay. Maybe Download Pori is beating it, but in terms of
Abra
like,
too.
No, Ghastly has a higher special attack than. Oh no, I lied. Never mind. You're right. Never
Yep.
mind. I'm lying. I'm
Yep. Get
lying.
out of
I'm
here.
Oh,
lying. Okay. Okay.
Fraud.
Okay.
You also got to
But
mention for
but
6 sticky webs. It's the
yeah,
best
Oh,
part
yeah.
of it.
right.
Yep. So yeah, it gets one of the biggest sticky web abusers. Also really good, very solid against it because you levitate above them, so you're not affected by them. That's very important. It's Ghastly is just damn. And then into here, Flu, you take
Yeah,
7.
you take 7, Flea. You skipped out on 6. You gotta take 7.
Yeah, because I don't play the meta, bro.
None of us
I barely
do.
do. It's okay.
But yeah, SM. I feel like there's really not too much to say. Like the pursuiters, in the last gen where it's available, there's only one truly viable pursuiter in Scarf Poniard, and even then, it's
Hmm.
kind of fallen off right now.
Munchlax.
Oh yeah, yeah, him too. I forgot. I'm a hater. Yeah, Alolan Grimer and Stunky, and like the two other like pursuiters, really can't keep up with the general power level in SM. It's just too fast, too strong, and even Scarf Pawn is having a really hard time right now. So running it solely for like Ghastly Abra is really hard. And I think with Ghastly in SM with like Life Orb, the customizability is really strong on Life Orb sets.
Yeah.
Even with like, and then even if you're not Life Orb, Scarf sets are pretty okay. I recently experimented with the Wisp Hex, which is really strong.
Hmm. And then Z move is
Z,
like
yeah, to lure
yeah,
your
Barium Z to get like the Oko
Fu,
on Vullaby turn 1 or Mienfoo.
Electrium. I've seen.
Hmm.
It's not. I don't think it's that good, but you know.
I saw it.
Yeah.
Hmm. I will
Yeah.
say with Life Orb in specific, I want to say that depending on the moves, it can it can just destroy
It
teams.
just wins the game.
Yeah, if you have the right 4 moves, let's say there's no, if you, for example, don't run into a Diglett or a Poniard and you don't need to worry about substitute, you can run Giga Drain for Onyx and just Oko it. You can run T-Bolt and Oko Vullaby after rocks. And even with some sets, I think Life Orb T-Bolt Okos without rocks. That's a really big one. Um, you have both your stab moves, but you don't need to run. You can run Psychic for the Marini Fungus, fighting type. Uh, you can run HP Fire for Pharaoh Seed. Its coverage is really scary.
I'd also like to shout out Sucker Punch.
Oh yeah, that's
It's
definitely
just
one.
is a typically rare thing, but like I think it's really good to just
Mhm.
break Abra's Sash or like kill something that's
Mhm.
weakened.
And
Very
then and I
friendly.
didn't even say it, but HP Fighting obviously because
Yeah.
Poniard.
you have to worry about Sucker Punch from Poniard, but that's why it's very common to run Substitute. So you just sub as either Poniard comes in hard or it clicks Sucker Punch, and then you just kill it with HP Fighting the next turn. It's really scary. I think it's very underrated in SM. I don't know
100%.
how other people view it, but uh,
I think it's probably an A, maybe even A minus, but it's definitely Ghastly is just
yeah.
forever cheap,
He
and then
he
A
gets some
minus
slander
in SM,
sometimes,
I
but
believe.
in SM, but
Its Fall
undeserved.
from Grace is tied to Knockoff's buff because in Gen 5 it's a fighting type counter basically, for the most
Yeah.
part.
yeah. Yeah, and
But
I think that's probably why it's offensive. Like Life Orb becomes way more prominent after that change because you can't really run the defensive, and so you lean into the offensive side more.
Hmm.
also Dazzling Gleam, Hex buff, and the existence of Berry Juice in the generations means that Life Orb is more likely to Oko stuff.
Oh,
Yeah,
that's
that's
a
a good
good
point.
point.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
something else
Yeah.
that also inadvertently buffed Ghastly to then get it banned in Gens 8 and 9 was the loss of Pursuit. In Gen
Yep.
8, did not play that tier to know what got Ghastly banned, but I would say definitely a main part of it was there was no more Pursuit, so Poniard
Yeah.
could no longer come in on you if you were Life Orb didn't have Substitute to then get a trap, while crucially not being trapped by Diglett because of its levitate ability. So
Yep.
this thing was just free to click moves and claim kills wherever it wanted. Obviously missing hidden power fighting because not able to hit that Poniard as with an Oko or hidden power fire, but those Life Orb Thunderbolts would still be bouncing off. And even in Gen 9, where it didn't even use the most of Terra Blast the move, but just being able to switch its defensive profile and just basically just to resist Dark or Sucker Punch or get stronger moves on its Thunderbolts, Dazzling Gleam, maybe even run Terra Blast Ground if you were going to do it. Not to mention the Violate Wisp Hex sets. Those things were so annoying for a time. It was no wonder in Gen 9 especially why it got banned. It got banned twice. We banned it once 2023
Yeah.
and then another time like
Mhm.
2025. Forever cheap.
Worth mentioning, it was Terra Stellar. I think that was the Terra Stellar Life Orb. I think was the most
that
broken
was
set.
super annoying.
You could just now you got boosted moves on all of the typings just for one time, but still, that if you played it properly, it would just get nasty Yokos.
When you have that Gen 1 coverage, you're clicking all 4 of those moves.
Exactly.
All right. Well,
Yeah.
I think we've sold enough Ghastly Glaze, and unfortunately, we get to see who
Penny
stole
loves Ghastly.
I'm a big Ghastly fan, but we get to see
Yeah.
who stole Ghastly's number 4 position. It's
I
Abra
wonder.
at only 4 points higher at 569. Abra, I would say, according to the community, the premier special attacker of LC. Its recent ban, and then pure speculation here, its recent ban in ADV Little Cup might have helped pushed it over the edge of the 4 points to get over Ghastly. Now,
Mm-hmm.
I say we're all big on that Ghastly. We're all down on Abra. So where's this
stole the
Abra
vote.
hating coming from? That we have it
He
sixth.
stole the vote.
I think for
It
me,
probably stems from old gens, specifically DPP, where it's not that good.
like where the hate, or I think where the glaze comes from, is that I think
We'll say our
it's
hate first. Everyone loves hate.
or the hate
Yeah.
first.
Why do
Okay.
we have Abra sixth? Everyone else would call us wrong. They're like, oh, where's Ghastly? But yeah. Why are we the ones right? Why are we saying the community is bad? And actually, no, the community doesn't know what they're talking about. We're the ones in the right.
Mhm.
This thing is not in the top 5 all the time.
I
Okay.
think it's because that Ghastly was banned more than Abra was, and it's Ghastly's better in Gen 4. It's better in Gen 5. It's Ghastly is worse than Abra in 6 and 7, but then Ghastly is banned in Gen 8 and Abra's not. So I think some people maybe view the bans and not being banned differently. I think it's kind of hard to see. For me, I kind of based it on each mon. Like I kind of changed how I viewed it being banned or not.
So you didn't have
And
Scyther as number 1 then, is what you're telling me.
yes, Scyther was not my number one Pokemon.
Phew.
And so for me, I just saw Ghastly's oppressiveness earlier on in 4 and 5 as being uh putting it over the edge for compared to Abra.
The main thing for me when I underrate Abra is it's never fit my playstyle super well. I don't like its lack of defensive profile. It's always got to revenge kill something unless you get it in for free on like a setup move or a double. And its vulnerability to Diglett. It's trapped in every gen as like the main counterplay because defensively answering Abra is a pretty major task. Even in Gen 8, where it lost hidden power, it still has Fire Punch and Submission. If it really wants to kill these targets that can switch into it.
Did not know it got submission, sorry. But I did lose literally round 1 of Sword Shield Open because he got a double protect as I clicked knockoff, and I was like, all right, screw it, I'm just gonna click knock again, and then he killed me Life Orb submission. Didn't know he got that. Found out the hard way.
Yeah.
Lost round 1.
It also
Gen 1
used to
moment.
run. Don't really see it as much, but it used to run Focus Punch
Oh, I ran that.
Yeah.
Onliner. I was a
Yep.
menace.
in Gen
Yeah.
8.
I run Choice Scarf Focus Punch. I was
Okay,
a really
we've
evil
we've
person.
hated enough. Let's talk about why it's so good though.
Okay,
And why it's
so I guess we can start with why it was banned in Gen 3.
I don't know why.
Yeah.
Abra
It's banned.
post Diglett ban, as in the one gen Diglett's not legal. Abra gets banned. That's not a shocker. It's an-
curious.
It has an insane special attack that when boosted with
yeah.
Calm Mind, just one shot everything.
It's like what 105
And-
base.
Yeah,
I
it
think
can
that's
hit
correct,
22 if modest. It is one of the few
Yeah,
Pokemon
I was
to-
slandering Abra earlier. Abra is the highest special attack Pokemon in Little Cup.
I think it
Yeah,
might be
and
tied with
Yep.
Clement if Clement's also 105.
Clement is also 105, I believe.
Yeah,
Oh, damn.
tied.
But that's a new addition that doesn't
Yeah.
count.
Yeah.
You're not on the list, Clement. Get out of here.
Yeah, exactly.
You're not in this
But,
episode.
But yeah. But so in Gen 3, I think it was a combination of it was Calm Mind plus Psychic plus Thief, Substitute, Ice Punch, Thunder Punch, Hidden Power Water. Made it so ridiculous. It was extremely, extremely good, even with Diglett in the tier, even with Porygon in the tier. It was always like a top 5 mon.
Can't forget to
And
say
then,
that Dark is special in Gen 3, so it can
yes,
actually set up on the Dark types.
yeah, exactly. And you get special move, Ice Punch, special move, Thunder Punch if you wanted, um, special move Thief. So it just when Diglett got banned, Abra got pushed way over the top. It was very insane. In Gen 4, easily Abra's worst gen. Not a great mon, like in any aspect. It's best as a lead with Sash, so you can run counter. You run Psychic, counter, hidden power, fire, or ground, and then taunt. You can sometimes use it as a screen setter. Other than that, doesn't see much usage at all.
No, but Gen 5 though.
Yes, this
Holy.
is where this is
This
where
is
things
probably
change up
what
for
got
Abra.
it to its placing here at 4th. If Midas, you would want to talk about our Gen 5 Abra.
Yeah, so Gen 5 Abra is a complicated mon. It got every single ban that has happened has benefited it, except for one thing. Diglett actually became a viable mon in the tier, where during Murkrow and Drillbur Sand Rush meta, it was not really usable. Then Abra's natural predator came to rise as its other enemies fell down, but it got Magic Guard, which is an
Yeah.
absurd made up ability. Doesn't make sense. You get Life Orb with no recoil, so you get to be Sash and not ever take
Mhm.
hazard damage. So you're not no longer just dedicated to being a lead. You have all the coverage moves as you mentioned. Even if you lost Thunder Punch and Ice Punch, you still have Shadow Ball, Energy Ball, Knockoff, Encore, Thunder Wave, all these utility moves.
And it's
You have
always running a hidden power of choice.
fire or fighting, and it's just really difficult to switch into. It's why a lot of teams go towards defensive Porygon and Life Orb Abra can two-shot defensive Porygon unless you
Yep.
are legitimately max HP, max special defense, calm nature, which is inefficient for basically every other mon in the tier. Its special attack is so high it warps the calcs around itself.
Mhm.
But BW is probably its second weakest gen next to Gen 4 though, because the Shell Smashers can ignore it, and it not having a defensive profile can leave you vulnerable to other things whacking you on top of no fairy coverage for Volibee, who is its second best answer. To the point where people are running Charge Beam and
Mhm.
hoping to get a +1 special attack to
Yeah.
2-hit KO it.
Yeah, because Fairy does not exist yet, so that's a pretty big aspect of it.
Yeah. And then in Gen 6, it's amazing again. It checks Fletchling, an extremely potent offensive threat in endgames, where Sashbra is just like, oh, my Fletchling, if it ever wants to attack, it's going to die. And then you have
especially
Sticky Webs.
gaining Dazzling Gleam as well. So now you have an answer to if you don't want to run a hidden power to just hit the dark type Volibee or Poniard with just a neutral attack is a big deal.
You
as
do
well.
always run Hidden Power.
Oh, sure.
Yeah.
But more impactful for a later Gen 8. But
Yeah, Degleam for Volibee is major, and it's probably a big reason why Volibee falls off in Gen 6. But to talk more about Abra, Sticky Webs, it is the main centerpiece because it is just so difficult to handle a Life Orb substitute mon on when your entire team is slower than it. And it has potential in its Evilite sets that can tank beat up and then KO the Diglett and still have potential for the rest of the game to run around freely. Flou, you want to take over Gen 7?
I feel like there's not too much to say about SM Abra. Like no matter what kind of set or like moves it's running, it's always going to be a threat. Life Orb, Focus Sash. I've experimented with Shed Shell at times, but I don't think it's the best. but like there's not too much depth to Abra in SM. It's just a very fast special attacker, very hard to get rid of. Diglett is your usual MO to try to get rid of it, and then other priority options or outspeeding is just really your only hope. It can run games by itself.
Absolutely agree. When I had to play Sword and Shield for LCPL as a Diglett merchant, I was a Diglett merchant because Abra is super cheap. I was like, all right, I'm running this Life Orb Diglett with beat up, and I'm just accepting that I'm going to play a 5 versus 5. My entire game plan around Abra was, as like Midas and Reggg said earlier, is I'm not defensively switching into this thing. I am letting someone die to then hope they are not a Violite or Shed Shell that beat me, and then revenge trapping it and playing 5 versus 5. And if they were, I would have lost so many more games. But
I think it's important to note that Gen 8 is Abra's best gen, I think. Despite, maybe that's controversial, but I don't think it is.
oh yeah, no hidden power.
Despite losing hidden power, Abra sees the most set variety by far, I think, in Gen 8. You have your standard Focus Sash, Protect, Psychic, Dazzling Gleam, +1. Usually it's like Shadow Ball, or it could be Energy Ball, now that you don't have it in power. You can also run Life Orb, and you can run Fire Punch, Drain Punch, or Submission for your Ferroseed or Poniard coverage. And also, Life Orb is just ridiculously strong. One of the hardest things ever to switch into. You can also, people run a Violite, and now you can live Life Orb beat up. You can, or yeah, from Diglett, you
Yep.
can
I hate that
and
comp.
revenge kill it, and so now your supposed counter or your supposed check is now you beat. You can run, and Evo lets you live, for example,
Like
Life
Glide.
Orb Grookey Grassy Glide. Yeah, exactly. You get surprisingly very bulky with Evo Abra. You can run another thing. You can run Shed Shell, but not seen as much, but definitely I think more than can in SM, because Trapinch is a Pokemon, and so you can run Shed Shell plus Trapinch, switch out a Diglett, reverse trap Diglett, and now your Abra goes crazy, or whoever else goes. Um, if you want to try and have your Trapinch be your Abra counterplay, guess what? It's Life Orb, Energy Ball. It clicked Protect on first impression, and Trapinch got O-code. Uh, it is ridiculous. Um, I think it could be banned in Gen 8. I wouldn't ban it. I've wanted it banned in the past when I've played Gen 8, but its set versatility is crazy. It's hard to answer, and its set variety is a big part of that.
100% agree. Just a slightly note is because Abra's special attack at base 105 is so high, especially those Violite sets, and even in Gen 3 where it ran like Calm Mind and a little bit more bulk, because its special attack is so high, you can opt to go for those bulkier spreads to then help you live those moves, and because the base special attack so high, you're not even missing it that much. But Abra, well deserved. Is it well deserved? We had it sixth, but well,
We were hating a little bit,
we
but
might be
it's,
yeah.
I mean, I
we
Well,
might be gassed.
two other
as a
things we
note-
gotta point out. I feel like
There's
I
more to
think
point
Choice
out on
Scarf-
Abra. Oh no.
Yeah, I think Choice Scarf is just something we need to mention because it outspeeds some of the
it's
Shelf
yeah,
Smashers.
it's definitely a
Mm,
thing.
true.
Yeah,
But
Nike
also,
Speeds-
Evilite Abra is so good in Gen 8 because grassy terrain means Earthquake won't kill you, so they have to go for beat up sometimes.
Oh,
yeah.
you're right.
Well, I
And
mean,
beat up
you'll
gets-
live EQ anyways, I think.
No, EQ after some chip you'll die. You'll die to EQ before you will beat
Rats.
up in some situations.
Yeah.
Well,
but
thankfully,
it's-
none of my opponents ran that of Highlight Abra. They were all some greedy Life Orb Focus Ash stuff, and I'm like, yes,
Yeah.
Diglett food. But
Well, we were hating, but I think all of us, at least, okay, maybe not Midas, but for me, and I know you,
Huh?
Rudy, it is a consensus top 6 Pokemon. Didn't you? You were hating on it. You
Yeah,
had it.
you
even
had
lower than
it-
6. But
7th.
That's not because it's bad. It's because all the other mons are so much better than it.
well, I'm just saying, for most people, I think this is like defining top 6 Pokemon, and the list starts after number 6 for me, and a lot
Yes.
of other people did.
I agree very much. I think everyone knew the order of. Everyone knew the Pokemon who was going to be in 1 to 6. They just didn't know what order it was going to be. But I think we have another pretty obvious one here. Talked about him a lot all day so far. Number 3 in the tier, we have Diglett,
Evil
612
mole.
points. We have it ranked as 4th actually, but Diglett, you can't go home without him. Arena Trap and plus tied for highest base speed in the tier is proven in multiple generations of Little Cup to be broken, and where it's not banned, it is very clearly one of the best options allowed. I'll start in SV. We'll go backwards this time. Start at the most recent gen. Diglett, this was Diglett, my beloved. I mean, there's so much to say. Terra Blast, where you just got allowed to beat mostly Toad and Brawler, but really just you got to choose any move to turn into, and now you have not only if you are you trapping the Pokemon with you, so now they are stuck here. You can bait Terra with Substitute, so they're like, oh, for example, Marini. You turned on a Marini as the Marini has come in. You get your Diglett in. You click Substitute. Oh, they turn into Terra Grass or resist Earthquake. Oh, I've now Terra Blast Flying Dew. You've been OHKO'd by Life Orb. I then now get to come in again 2 more times to get 2 more trapping kills. Trapping is, I think, truly what makes this thing just as good as it is, and would honestly could technically be jobless without it. I mean, Diglett Alola is like fake usable, or is usable in Scarlet Violet because of Diglett's ban, but and then to go to Sword and Shield again, just the potential of getting this Pokemon in to pick and choose what you are trying to remove. We obviously highlighted Life Orb a lot in the Abra section, but this thing has other options as well. It gets Air Balloon for opposing Diglett. So if you're that kind of person, it's like, you know what, I'm playing Greedy EB Sword and Shield. He's gonna bring out Life Orb Diglett. Oh, I'm bringing that Shed Shell Abra plus Balloon Diglett, and I'm getting that Revenge Trap. Or even if you just let the Abra die, you get the guaranteed trap pretty much with this Balloon Diglett. It has a Violite set to make it usable enough special defense, help it take extra hits, and then maybe even a physical hit on the side as needed. And I can't think of any other items. Focus Sash
Choice
is
Scarf
probably real.
Choice Scarf is a viable set. Definitely its least used, but it does exist. Because of Final Gambit, you can invest in a little bit of HP, and then you can Final Gambit and remove some Pokemon like Ferroseed. This was definitely more common when Carvana was really popular in Gen 8, and you would run well, not Scarf Diglett, but you would run Focus Sash there, so you could Sludge Bomb Grookey or Final Gambit a Ferroseed, and now the Carvana, put in work.
Yeah. Just to quickly go back to SV, that guy got Rock Blast in SV, so Volibee.
Yeah, that was a really big change.
Yeah, that also helped as well. Volibee wasn't legal at the time of its ban, but being able, like in later gens, assuming we get more Little Cup where Diglett and Volibee are the same, being able to boost past the weak armors, very important. And while you will probably not see it outside of a Terra in metagames without Terra, just because I think changing your type will be very useful to it, Diglett also gets Swords Dance, and this is probably why Diglett is not been unbanned. Will not be unbanned, assuming a Terra Blast ban goes through, is because someone was like, what if I just steal the Evil Gothita set, click Terra Steel, a Violite Substitute, Fungus doesn't break my sub, and now I get the +6. I'm at 20 base speed with Earthquake, Rock Move, Sucker Punch. Or no, you can't run Sucker Punch because you're running sub SD. And forever cheap. But we continue onwards, going down the gens this time. Flou, tell us about the Sun and Moon Diglett. Not again,
I
bro.
don't know what to say about it. About Diglett, bro.
Bro,
Bro,
it's
I mean,
Diglett.
it's
It's
the
the
one-
same thing every gen, man.
Yeah, but now in
Yeah.
this gen, he gets Groundium Z,
Yeah,
and so he can
that's
he
just
can
playing the
trap
game, but-
he can trap things he doesn't even normally trap, like Staryu.
I mean, as of recent, I feel like he hasn't even been running Groundium, though. He's just been Air Balloon / Life Orb to deal with oppressive ass Abra and opposing Diglett.
Yeah, Air Balloon is really like the most warping set it has, because Diglett trapping Diglett is such an awkward interaction. It's kind of questionable that we still have trapping in LC in 2026.
Truly.
Yeah, I mean this
Uh,
is why I ranked Diglett personally number 2, because I just saw Diglett as like I mean, these are all like iconic LC mons at this point, but like trapping is so fundamental to the tier that we play that I had to put him there.
Yeah.
Yeah, did we mention Life Orb Earth Power in Gen 8?
No.
No, it's Life Orb Earth Power
It
isn't
It
exists.
was for breaking
most
Onyx under
common.
grassy terrain.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, Earth Power is used sometimes in Gen 7 as well.
Yeah, it hits the ID Marini still, I guess.
No, it's still for Onyx
Still for
to
Onyx.
avoid the weak
Gotcha.
armor.
Yeah, and in Gen 6, you have the iconic Fletch Dig, which spawns several suspects and a lot of angry arguing between everyone.
Really?
The combination of, yeah, no, it was a big deal. People wanted Fletchling Gun, people wanted Diglett. It kept having to be, it was a whole deal. But Fletchling U-turn into Diglett is probably the like Diglett Fletch U Volt turn as a thing popularized by Taz back in the day was really just the most dominant archetype for years because it just like constantly tests your team. Chinchou, Magnemite, Abra, what are other mons? Poniard, all are susceptible to Diglett, and then it just like it
Yep.
formed a very very pressuring core that made games a lot about getting turns right.
I think we've kind of buried the lead on it, but like pawn or any Pokemon, when you're facing a Diglett, you always have to be aware that if you switch to a Pokemon that's weak to Diglett and the switching move gets clicked, you turn or Volt Switch, you can just lose that Pokemon right then and there. And so it just puts so much pressure in the game and in the builder that it's very warping.
Yeah, it's very showing that in Gen 5, majority of the mons that are relevant levitate or just don't care
Mhm.
about Diglett.
Yeah.
In Gen 5, it's similar to Ground EMZ. You can kind of do Ground Gem, which is a little bit weaker, but it's also kind of cool and get some KOs Life Orb wouldn't. Air Balloon is probably the best there. Life Orb and Evilite see use as well.
Hmm.
But yeah, Diglett in Black and White is actually an underdog story because it took years and years of bans to remove all of its threats, and then it's just like it's an
I
endangered
don't know
species and they need it.
why wouldn't it have been good during like Missy meta? Because you could outspeed it and like beat up it or something.
Mischievous is a bulky
Mischievous has bulk,
is a
bro.
bulky girl.
I was
Yeah.
running I was running a Violet.
You run the
Again,
counts.
my
Run the
Mischievous
calcs.
Scarlet Violet is my only experience, but this thing was living unnatural amount of hits even before you turned out of your ghost typing. That thing is super cheap, and the fact you played a metagame with it for more than 3 weeks is, in my opinion, insane.
I played that tier it was probably like 6 years
Yeah.
before Mischievous got banned, probably
That's
longer.
insane.
But Murkrow also like feasted on Diglett because it mandated defensive answers to Murkrow, and you couldn't fit a Diglett. And Sandrush meta, Sandrush just runs
Yeah.
over Diglett. How are you
Yeah,
gonna
what
have a
was going,
Diglett
bro?
when I have a 30 speed
Talk about
attacker?
nonsense. What is?
Oh
Also,
no,
also worth
None of
noting, I
that
think
sounds
that like
at
you
all
have
fair.
it's
not the
also
time.
20 speed with Pursuit. Definitely something that's worth noting, and Sucker Punch. So you kind of have some mind games with the Ghastly Abras of the world where are you going to click Beat Up? Are you going to click Pursuit, like versus the Ghastly, for example? And so it's those dark moves I think were definitely important for it. For Gen 4, easily it's its worst generation. Really, it kind of has like just two sets, kind of like a Focus Sash reversal set, where you can use it to trap either Munchlax or Chinchou and enable different teams. Definitely a good set. Definitely not a bad Pokemon. It's also can run Life Orb with EQ and just be really strong. Do its thing. It runs.
Hidden power ice, right?
It has to run HP Ice because this is the tier that Gligar is in, and you cannot be running no way to hit Gligar. So I'd say the biggest reason that Diglett isn't very good or isn't as good in Gen 4 as it is in the other ones is that one, so much of the tier kind of avoids it. So you have Ghastly, and your best move to hit that is like Night Slash or Shadow Claw rather, or you play like Sucker Punch mind games. Beat Up is not a real move that is good in Gen 4. Um, You also have Gligar that completely avoids it, but it's also just the offensive nature of the tier. There's so many Scarfers. You have Snover, Stunky Life Orb, or Stunky just OHKOs you with Sucker Punch. Um, Diglett just doesn't see the type of opportunities that it does in later gens and just doesn't really take advantage of its positive traits. But then in Gen 3, uh, it was so good it had to be banned again because counterplay to it doesn't really exist. Once
Yeah.
Porygon was banned because the best Diglett answer was to run Porygon, so you could trace it. That left only really Trapinch, but its speed there was no really good way to punish it.
Yeah, no Choice
Uh,
Scarf in Gen 3, so this thing just got
yeah,
to be
so
the
you could
fastest of all time.
yep you could just that's the big one. There's no choice scarf, so Diglett, Elekid, and Voltorb, and everything else was slower than it. You could it was just kind of a boss. Choice band was insane at the end, but defensive sets where you would do the classic thing of trapping Abra were always good. That was obviously a massive part of why Abra was banned in Gen 3 because Diglett was banned before it.
Yeah. Diglett is cheap. And
Diglett is cheap, and so is
Diglett is cheap.
trapping, but Diglett is the cheapest of them all.
Yeah. Oh, I don't know. I would have liked the well, if Scarlet Violet does ban Terra Blast, let it be known I
Keep
was
him
for
locked up.
I
Keep
was
him locked up.
I was for freeing this guy just because, bro. Screw it. We're nuking the tier, bring everything back. But it's fine. Diglett, I think deserves his number 3. I know us as the collective does not have 3. We had it 4. Can't even remember what our other 3 up.
I had him too. I had him too.
You did have him too. I don't care enough to check out what everyone else ranked it, but I think it's time for one of the ranks. I think pretty much everyone knew was going to happen, but not all of us might be happy with. In second place, we have Vullaby at 693 points, and also again, us as the community or us as a group has also put this in second. And Vullaby, Queen of Littlecup, the past 3 generations in a row, and it's been ranked in the S tier. Flou, we'll start with you on one of those gens where it's ranked in S. Sun and Moon. How can you explain why Volby is as good as it is in that tier?
Holy dude, I could talk for probably a whole hour about SM Vullaby. The amount of different sets you can run on the same like baseline, offensive pivot, you can run so many different spreads. You have nasty plot sets, choice scarf, you have fly in EMZ, which is infamous currently. Even just mixed juice, overcoat. Like this is the most for all the credit I gave to like Ghastly or Staryu about their customizability. Vullaby takes the cake. In
Yeah.
I feel like even more than in SM, even like more than just in SM, it's the queen of customizability in terms of sets. Just
Its
like
spread
even
versatility is insane
yeah,
in SM.
yeah,
You can
it
run so
can
many different spreads.
you can
Like,
choose to just live whatever the hell you want.
yeah, it can be your especially. It can run spread FEVs and be an Abra check. It can run some defense and it helps with some fighters. You didn't even mention it, Flou, but this is the gen that weak armor was buffed, and
Yeah,
so then I think that was a large part of what made that. I mean, it was the weak armor plus the Z moves, but
yeah.
weak armor all of a sudden going from +1 speed to +2 speed is crazy because now there's no Scarfers that outspeed it at
Plus
+1.
scarfers don't exist.
Yeah.
So you can just yeah you are faster than so much of the tier. Brave Bird, Knockoff, Heat Wave, HP Fighting, HP Grass, U-Turn is so devastating to have to handle.
Yeah, trying to deal with. I mean, typically you really can't fit like Onyx plus another dedicated Vullaby answer, or upon your did another dedicated Vullaby answer, and it has so many ways to beat either one of those. You turn into Air Balloon Diglett for Onyx, HP Grass. You turn into Diglett, or yeah, there's like sub Diglett, etc., or just a fighter type.
Mhm.
HP Fighting, Heat Wave on nasty plot sets or mixed. It's just insane how
I
well
mean,
you can get
it got
balanced.
Trapinch banned in Gen 7.
Yeah, Yeah,
Because
single-handedly got
U-turn,
Trapinch
yeah,
removed.
U-turn, Vullaby U-turn as the flying switch came in, and Trapinch would easily remove it. Just yeah, it got him banned instead of Vullaby.
I mean, it also helped that Abra and Ghastly existed for Trapinch to work off of
Yeah, it
too.
did. Yeah, so
So
it was.
Vullaby really takes the cake there for why Trap got banned.
Mhm. And I
Yeah,
mean, in Gen, yeah, we talk about it. Gen 5, the Midas, where it first came into the tier, into
yeah.
LC.
Just to cover why Vol's weak armor buff is so important is that its two weaknesses are its mediocre attack stat and its mediocre speed. But weak armor plus 2 means no Scarver in the metagame can actually outpace it as long as it runs 15 speed. And you have a buffed overcoat that lets you block Spore, and Brave Bird to make up for your lack of an impressive attack stat with high base power. Gen 5, it's another mon where like all the bans just like benefited it. As the tier got weaker, it got stronger and stronger. It is an Abra counter. It is a good switch into Ghastly, even if it does not outright beat it 1v1 due to pre-buff knockoff and a lack of dark stab moves. For its offensive pressure, really, the flying resist in the tier don't really exist outside of Chinchou and Magnemite, and they don't really appreciate eating a knock into a U-turn with Diglett running around.
Mm-hmm.
So it's just able to aggressively pressure teams. It's really fat, even without weak armor buff. Nothing really outspeeds it that can pressure it, and it can go bulkier. It can roost on super effective moves really easily. And Nasty Plot is a completely changes how your patterns of how you want to answer it in some situations, and it can just take over a game if you get the wrong turn. Did we
Mm-hmm.
cover Gen 6 fully?
No,
Not
we
really,
didn't.
No.
but I
I would
mean,
Yeah.
say
yeah, I
probably
mean, we didn't even cover
Bumblebee's
8 or 9, but
probably
yeah, but
Bumblebee's
it's got to
worst
be its worst.
generation.
Weakest,
Let's
yeah.
end with 9. Let's end with 9. But I think yeah,
Sure.
Gen 6 probably its worst because it faces a lot of competition with the birds. You have Archon and Fletchling. Um, and weak armor is not buffed. But berry juice does exist now,
Yeah.
and so this is where you start to see Vullaby's iconic berry juice. Who needs roost? I just switch into moves, take a little bit of chip, and now I'm back at the full.
Switching the
And then
moves.
I
I
click,
switch into stealth rocks and then leave to switch to go back to full.
yeah, and then this is knockoff is now buffed. I do think it's notable that I think less of the pawn is ex pawn exists, but Chinchou and Archon are also fly resists that do exist, but they don't love switching into knockoff, uh, like Volvia likes throwing out there. You also still have the iconic U-turn into Midas was talking about earlier when we were talking about Fletchling and Diglett, but yeah, Volby can do the same thing. Um, I do think you have a lot more afford to run very bulky sets, I think, in Aura sometimes. Uh, it's
You
just
have
something
to
you,
invest in it defensively because Abra Degleam.
yeah, yeah, exactly. I think that's something that's very notable for 6, 7, and 8 is that with the proper investment, even without a Violate, Ghastly can or Volby can live Dazzling Gleam after Stealth Rocks, and so that lets it be a very valuable pivot into Psychic and still live a move. Uh, and so that's a very, I think, common interaction.
Yeah, and even it can even with juice, it can even EV to live Life Orb Abra,
Yep.
Degleam from
Yeah,
full.
if it wanted to, yeah, I think it just goes to show its customizability. We
Yeah.
already talked about 7, but I think 8 Vullaby is really interesting because
It
one,
got
it
banned.
was banned, then it was suspected to get unbanned, and it didn't work. Then it was get suspected to get unbanned again, and it didn't work. And then it was again suspected, and it finally was unbanned.
It was
Uh,
really 3 attempts. I
I
thought
think
it
there
was
was
only
4 total. It was 4 total, I think.
of unban
It was
requests
it
or
was
just
bird
interactions.
propaganda.
It was
Very
initial ban, 2 unsuccessful unbans, and then a
Successful one, I guess.
and then a successful unban, I
Wow.
believe. I'd have to
I
double check that.
Yeah, the only
Uh,
I just
and
remember
now it
when
exists as
starting
the best one
my
on the tier.
yeah, I remember when starting in Sword and Shield Little Cup, I remember, I don't know what I was really playing for. I think I was watching, like, this could be a random pull of all time. Nathan Likes Chicken. He did some mono club
I know
stuff.
him.
Yeah, but
What
he
the
was
hell?
hosting a Little Cup tour, and I joined it, and I remember the sample team had Volby. I was just in the back of my family's car, and I was like, you know what? I got, like, second place in, like, this room whore. I was like, oh, damn, this Volby guy's cheap. 2 weeks go by. I'm like, all right, you know what? I remembered the tier exists. I was like, oh, Little Cup. I was like, oh, I'll go try that out again. I'm like, where's Volby? Where'd she go? I lost all my teams. And then I did touch the tier again for like a year plus until some freeze eye stuff. But
Hmm.
Volby, I mean, I can't even go into it that much in Sword and Shield because honestly, I don't think it's one. But I'm in the minority there. I just think Mienfu is
Oh,
forever
you don't
cheap.
think it's one?
Well, I'm just a Mienfu
Yeah.
stan. But
Yeah.
this thing can never go wrong. Just buff knockoff is just super cheap and almost impossible to
Hmm.
switch into because of the progress it's going to make. Berry Juice makes this thing pretty much most times have to trade into itself because of Berry Juice. I mean, there are times, Sun and Moon, I remember I was playing, I think it was Piyush, and I told myself in test games, all right, you cannot click Drain Punch if you think the Volby is going to come in. It is going to heal to full HP. You have to either knock it or kill it with Ice Punch. And then in the game, did not do that. I then lost to the Volby, got 2 more kills because I let it go to full HP with a speed boost. Because yeah, Berry Juice and the +2 speed from Weak Armor
Yeah.
just makes this thing such a menace to switch into. Not even to mess with its special attacking sets, but I feel like that's more or less for Scarlet Violet. Scarlet
Well,
Violet,
I will say, but before you move on to SV, I will say part of what kept Volibee banned was definitely its special sets in Gen 8.
really?
Oh yeah, I remember during the Gen 8 Suspect Ladder, in 2022, people would just run double screens run screens teams with Natu and Magby and Volibee, and it
Mm.
was in Tyrant, and it was absolute cancer.
This is kind of
It
sounding
was a
like our
nightmare.
current ladder right now. I'm hearing screens. I'm hearing
Hmm.
Vullaby. I'm hearing fast special attacker. I'm hearing hazard removal / blocking. Mincino. I'm hearing a fire type. Numo. Magby. I don't know. Wait a minute. Maybe things don't change that much after all.
Yeah. Thing, the more things change, the more they stay the same. Go ahead to SS or SV.
For SV, I mean, the main set I would be talking to because this was no during the time of this recording, we are currently in the middle of the Terra Blast, the move suspect. But the main one that people were calling for, if not to be the move, was Volby, and that is just because of how potent its nasty plot sets are. Because this thing can terrasilize into most times a ground type, but also has the option of Ghost as well if you're not running Terra Blast. This thing gets to pick and choose pretty much that it beats all of its supposed counters. Clement is going to get OHKO'd by Terra Blast. Tinkatink is OHKO'd by Terra Blast. Although the offensive sets, I'm pretty sure, are OHKO'd by +2 Heat Wave, but not the point. But also getting that rock resistance against Mudbray that will probably be going for a Stone Edge as best move to hit you for highest damage. Resist that a hit. Now you get the speed boost, and now you're guaranteed faster than everything else. Also, Electric Immunity for then Voltorb, now Elikin. Not to mention, if you're also just running Terra Ghost, now you can just become fake out immune, so you don't take that extra little chip. You become immune to high jump kick, so the Mienfu takes recoil, they die. You can run Encore or Roost as your fourth if you're running a Terra Blast option, and that just warps on how much then the physical sets are. It's always the worst when you're like, oh, this is a physical Vullaby. You then go into your Mudbray, reveals Nasty Plot, and you're like, what am I supposed to do now? Because Mudbrays are not running Roar like they used to, because Tink Totemare is all over the place. You kind of need CC so you can actually touch the Mudbray for significant, not the Mudbray, the Toad for significant damage. And Volby, it's just the progress making machine. You can never, I mean, I don't know what else to say that hasn't been covered. This thing is always cheap, and I think for the most part, it's no surprise that it's our number 2. However, Midas, you did not have this too. So could you give us some Volibee hate as to why this guy is not the second best of all time?
I ranked Volby 3
Yeah, you did rank Volibee 3, but why is he 3 and not 2?
Because in Oros, it's just not that amazing of a Pokemon, and its viability in Black and White was tied more so to the weakest metagames ever existed.
Right, because it
Actually,
is.
the
I
metagame
guess,
that is currently
and you
going
know that
on.
is true. Is I'm coming from the perspective of very late Gen 9, this thing didn't or very late Gen 8, where this thing didn't exist for me. Gen 9, where this thing was just number 2, where I don't have Murkrow as a Pokemon ever like even being feasible to exist in Little Cup. And I'm like, what do you mean you play with Murkrow? Like that? Yeah, I mean this guy's got to just be that guy's child.
Yeah,
I
the
think
other
it's
thing is
just
that it's
Volbeat
never
is.
been banned. Well, it's never been. It's currently not banned in any gen. And my top two list had only Pokemon that were banned.
That is true. Well,
It was banned in 8, but they
yeah,
unbanned it.
he's
So
back now, or she's back now.
Mhm.
God damn it! But I think I'm pretty sure everyone knew this one was coming. Unfortunately, but to no one's surprise, at number one, we have Mienfu getting
What?
93% of the possible points you could have gotten. So with 52 respondents, you could have gotten a total of 780 points if everyone put you at first place. This got 733, 93% of the total possible points. We also ranked this as number one, and we're now granting Mienfu its nice trophy as the best Little Cup Pokemon of all time. And I don't even know where to start with Mienfu.
This
So
is the king of consistency across
Mhm.
almost every gen it's in.
Well, I think you
Mienfoo
start
is
with
Mr. Elsie.
you start with the fact that it is Regenerator. So you have that defensive profile of being able to consistently heal up. You have U-turn, so you can pivot out of a bad matchup, out of something that you're slower than, and get back some health. You have knockoff to cripple things. It's not as good in Gen 5, but it's still removing item is still very useful. And then in boosted in Gens 6 and onwards, it's a strong move in itself. And then you have your 130 base power high jump kick, which is so devastating to switch into that it almost mandates a fighting check on every team. And between those three moves, and then typically fake out, but just for the throwing some extra flavor, get a little priority in there too. Why don't you? Uh, it is just it's just the ultimate. This is Mr. LC, as you said.
yeah, I think it speaks to again coming in the Freeze Eye era of Little Cup, really trying to step my ground from Freeze Eye Open. And I remember one of the first videos I watched. I watched like some of his like actually playing tournament games, and I was like, oh, you know what? I kind of want to play in this tournament. How can I get better? Scroll down a little bit. How to get better at Little Cup? Use Mienfu. There's a reason that they call this guy that was literally in the thumbnail. Use Mienfu, and I think that was the one sentence he said. He's like, number one thing to do, put a Mienfu on your team. If you don't have Mienfu, put Mienfu on there. It makes your team better.
Mhm.
Congrats. And then there's step 2 and
Yep.
3. I didn't get that far, but I listened to his advice very well. Sword and Shield, Scarlet Violet, that guy's on every team. And even Scarlet Violet, 95% usage. But
Yep.
face of the tier is just without a question. So to give another little stat for you guys. So me and Fu, again, we had 52 respondents, 93% of the total votes. So I believe 33 people had him in first place. There was only, I can tell you this more accurately, there was only 4 votes that did not have him as 1 or 2. There was one person who had him as third. There's one person who had him as fifth. There was one person who had him as 10th, which we're taking it a little bit crazy. And then the fourth person, who I believe, as we discussed, did not interpret the form correctly. I think they took it as their top 15 Pokemon of all time, not the collective top 15 Pokemon of all time.
Yeah.
Did not have
And despite
Mienfoo on the
that,
list.
still number one.
Still number one, and like pretty comfortably ahead of Volby. Volby was 693. This is a
Mhm.
whole 40 points ahead. This would have taken another 3 people leaving Mienfoo off the list and then putting Volby as first for this to even get touched.
Yeah, he's just everything you want in a lot of formats where he's your defensive check. He's you have regenerator. You can come in on a weaker hit. On Poniard, I think you talked about earlier Midas. Mienfoo coming in versus Poniard is like iconic. Uh, and and it's also a fucking offensive demon. Nothing. HAK is so strong. Both it has a very high attack stat. I believe it's 85 base attack. And then you have 130 base power stab move. It is so strong. It can, and then say the fighting check switches in. Oh, Mienfoo clicked knockoff, and now it clicks U-turn, and your fighting check is at 60%, and a Pokemon that takes advantage of it is coming in off of the U-turn.
Not to mention,
It's just
because
really
of
good.
regen, the Mienfoo got the heal actually whatever damage it took in against you.
Yep.
So he's
Yep.
back at full.
And guess what? Diglett's in the back, and now, and now it traps the Marini, it traps the Snubble, it traps whomever. It's just an iconic mon.
Midas, do you have more to say on the Mienfoo's existence in either Oras or Black and White? I'm curious on how good slash bad Mienfoo would have been in a mischievous Murkrow tier, or Sandrush even.
Although Murkrow, Mischievous, Mienfoo formed the 3 M's.
Oh, so it was that guy. Gotcha.
Yeah.
He was
You
still
ran,
good, yeah.
you ran Drain Punch or High Jump Kick, U-turn, Payback, and then you typically either saw some combination of a Payback knockoff fourth move was a fake out to chip out Murkrow alongside Hail or Sand, and just like Stealth Rocks. But you saw Decay Fu, which was Acrobatics Flying Gem, which was just a trade
Yeah.
Mienfoos because every Mienfoo was slow.
Yeah, that Acrobatics is a good mention in RS as well, where you don't run
Yeah.
the Flying Gem. It doesn't exist, but now, opposing Mienfoo click knockoff, and now you have 110 base power Acrobatics to hit Mienfoo or Fungus.
Yeah, I mean, I can tell
I
you
think
right
it's
now
worth mentioning
when I
in.
played Black and White, did not know Flying Gym macros was a thing. That thing, I almost threw the game so hard to whoever I was playing, and then I was just like, oh yeah, I got my Mienfoo switching for free, I'm fine. Took 80%. I was like, oh no, I lose.
It's worth mentioning. I think in Gen 7 you had the Baton Pass.
Oh my god.
Stuff that Freezai kind of highlighted, where he used Z Me first Mienfoo to click Swords Dance turn 1 as opposing Mienfoo clicked Fake Out, then Z Me first, the high jump kick, get the +2 speed, and now it's a +2 Mienfoo versus a team, and then Baton passing out. Very scary. And then I don't know, Greedy, do you want to talk about the SV Mienfoo? Because that's probably worth mentioning too. Specifically him.
He died.
Uh-oh.
Rick the host.
Oh no.
Greedy.
Don't worry. He will fix this in post. Don't worry. Just
Yeah,
go into the Discord.
post his funeral, he's gonna fix this.
He's probably so mad right now.
He's like, what the hell's going on? Oh, he's typing. Oh, never mind. You typed.
That was me.
Greedy.
Sorry, my bad. I had curiously loud noises happening outside my place, and I was like, uh-oh, that can't be good. However,
Uh-oh.
we are all good. Because you know why we're good? Because Mienfoo's got me. He's got fake out, U-turn, knock off, high jump kick.
Turn.
I will always
I know
be
where also
good.
he has the power of post editing.
Ah, of course, exactly. I feel like I wasn't even gone that long. I was like, geez, I come back and you guys
No,
are like,
you
where's
weren't.
Greedy?
Did we end up live streaming this?
No.
Huh? No. Absolutely not.
I was just saying, Greedy, did you want to talk about like Mienfoo and SV at all specifically? Just kind of end it there.
Yeah, I feel
Damn
like
this
it's something
mon.
I don't even think we've mentioned in any of the other old gens either
No.
is Choice Scarf. I don't think that's just
Oh, okay,
how
yeah.
strong its pivoting regenerator stuff is.
Yeah, we didn't even
is-
talk about
We didn't
Reckless.
even talk about Choice Scarf. We didn't talk about Choice Scarf where it gets Reckless by the way. And what do you high jump kick is boosted by Reckless. What switches into this thing?
Oh boy.
Oh, nothing. Oh, I'm taking 40% to a KO with hazards. Oh, I better Oh, he actually clicked U-turn, and as I went into my Marini, and now Diglett's come in, and now my Marini's dead, and there goes all semblance of a fighting resist. Or better yet, Scarlet Violet. We got Terra. You just turn into a fighting type, and now you don't even have to go for high jump kick if you don't want to. You can just click CC and probably still do a KO the entire tier. And also Scarlet Violet.
Terra fighting high jump kick is nasty damage.
Yeah, it's absolutely unreal. Hated when that thing was as good as it
You
was. I
you
mean, it's still
can
good.
terra fighting high jump kick can Oko Scarf Goth after rocks.
That's very funny. I
Yeah, you're
believe
like,
it
oh,
too.
I'll use my goth to check Scarf Me Info. Nope.
Nope. Goodbye. Not to mention, also Scarlet Violet exclusive is Terra Steel Substitute Swords Dance, so you can set up on Fungus trying to put you to bed or fish for Sludge Bomb poisons. There's a reason that Mienfu, through all of its set, you got Choice Scarf, you got Swords Dance, you've got Fast and Slow Regenerator Pivot. There's a reason this guy is averaging 90 to 95% usage in Scarlet Violet. It is, I feel like Freeze Eye, you want to get better at Scarlet Violet, put a Mienfu on the team. But with Mienfu and his little trophy out of the way, we now get into what our community. Oh, hold on. In post editing, I forgot that the profile icons are in the way. Uh-oh, they're not moving.
Uh-oh.
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 Ooh,
They're not
the power
disappearing
of
either.
post. Ooh.
Yeah, it's gonna have the power of
Congrats on
post.
giving yourself
Yeah,
back
what the hell? They're
short.
not going away. Why are they not moving? Hello? What's going on here?
This
Oh, they're
sucks.
not moving because I'm in
Didn't
the
he test
wrong
this?
display. Oh, me when I troll. Da 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 da. All right, and we're gonna magically pretend. All right, cool. We've moved everyone to the center of the screen. You guys can't see this anyways. That's the funniest part. You can't even see me messing around with the
No, you
little
can't.
the things. I had to do
fun.
this 2 more times too, because the positions that I could put it. So like this is center of the screen here, and then we go to this one. This one, where am I putting it here, bro? I don't even know. And then like here, they've got to like go up here and up here. It's gonna
Hey,
be a
look,
mess.
3D.
The power of
3D,
editing, though.
holy shit.
All right, hold up. We go back to this. All right, cool. I get the little animation. So now these are here. All right. And now to go to what our 52 respondents. Then just to quickly recap what they had ranked in our top 10. We had Mienfu 1, Vullaby 2, Diglett 3, Abra 4, Ghastly 5, Porygon 6. I think making up that big 6 that I think everyone knew was going to pretty much be here, just not the order. Also, Gen 5, you could definitely just run this as a team all on its own and blow people up. Ponyard is 7, Fungus is 8, Staryu 9, and Timber rounding out the top 10. Any additional comments on this quick little summary screen just to see? Oh, I put the Timber points in wrong. He's got 565. Who did I copy from?
I honestly say
Uh,
this is like the big 5 because look at the gap between Porygon and Ghastly and
Yeah, that's a
Abra
good
and
point.
Ghastly.
Yeah.
I will say this. I think. Let me double check. I think this is my top 9.
Innovator.
I know.
Wow. Well,
Yeah.
all right. The Timber is supposed to have 235. So, yeah, am I copying? I knew I'd missed something.
Yeah. Or sorry, I have. Yeah, that is the same. I have Ponyard Fungus Staryu as 6, 7, 8.
And then just something different. In,
Yeah, I had. I had something different 9.
But yeah, so this is our top 10. I think most people would have been able to guess 1 through 8. I say for most people probably would have had 1 through 8 in some order. 1 through 6 most definitely. 1 through 7 to 8, I don't know. But Staryu Timber, while the more interesting was, what I think the most interesting of this project was the 11th to 20th. Everyone knew who was going to be all the way at the top, but who's sneaking in onto the list to try and get their mentions in? We have Chinchou 11th, Pharisee 12th, Ponyta 13th, Marini 14th, Munchlax. So note, because our points went to a max of 780, Munchlax and below, these all had less than 10% of the possible votes. These were generally probably getting nominated by, I have that number actually. Give me one moment. Why make stuff up when you can just be factual?
Yeah,
All right,
probably only a
Munchlax
few
down.
people.
Well, yeah, true. Making the stuff up is pretty fun. All right, Munchlax got the most noms actually at 17 of this grouping of people, but the rest of them was Gothita had 11, Onyx had 12, Traffic had 13, Gligar had 7, Drifblim had 6. So a huge steep fall off from where the Mons used to be. But anyways, to continue again, we have Munchlax 15th, Gothita 16th, Onyx 17th, Trapinch 18th, Gligar 19th, Drifloon 20th. Now, I think this would be a good time to talk about who we think our biggest snubs from the top 20 are. If anyone
Mhm.
has, I already know we've discussed pre-show on what we think they'd be, but now looking at the list in front of us, who deserved to be on this top 10, top 20 list and is not here?
Where's
I
my boy
think,
Omanite?
yeah,
Yeah,
I think
Almanite
there's
got hella
two. I
snubbed.
think there's two big ones, the biggest snubs. I think Oma is one of them. Where Oma, first of all, it's banned in Gen 3, kind of a Mickey ban, but it is banned. It's good in Gen 4 as either a rain dance abuser or you just kind of click hazards. But really as a rain dance or baton pass receiver. Haha. Um, in Gen 5, it's a demon, definitely it's probably its best gen. Gen 6 as a flying resist. Gen 7, probably its worst gen. Doesn't see that much usage because I think Volbeat can just HP grass things. But then in Gen 8, it's really, really good.
It's
And
so cheap at 8.
I, yeah, I think for six and eight, I think what define it is a flying check that competes with Onyx as a flying check. It's shares a rock typing, but it's so much more offensively potent. Like Hydro Pump, it's so much stronger than what Onyx does offensively.
Yeah, that access to Hydro Pump, while it doesn't use that rock stab offensively, defensively, obviously loving that it resists flying, but Hydro
Hmm.
Pump slash Surf, Ice Beam, and then crucially Earth Power for Gen 7 onwards to hit Pokemon like Marini or a Steel type just makes that thing such a menace to switch into. It also
Yeah.
gets
And
knockoff,
then
if I believe, and both the
it does
hazards.
get knockoff. It gets all three hazards of Stealth Rock spikes and Toxic spikes.
Damn.
It
And
gets
Shell Smash.
Scald. I mean, we didn't even talk about Shell Smash.
Aw,
If this thing was an SV, it would be so broken.
so
People
broken.
think Shelter is a pain.
Let's show
Oh
you a
my
real
God.
Shell Smasher, buddy.
Yeah. Yeah. It's
That can set up
it's
on Volibee too. Oh, it's over.
mhm. Like it's so good. And I think the other major for me, it was my 15th rank on this list is Magnemite. Magnemite is the ultimate. If you did a bigger ground type or electric immune, I am beating you. Uh,
I will
there's so
win.
many. There's some crazy matchups that Magnemite can get, and it represents all generations. It is similar to Chinchou. It's in Gens 3 all the way up to 9. It makes an appearance in every single one. In Gen 3, it's fine. In Gen 4, it's also fine. You get to be a trapper, which is kind of cool, and use explosion. In Gen 5, you get to trap things with. Now you get to run Choice Scarf. Well, you can run Choice Scarf in Gen 4, but it's bad. But now you can run Choice Scarf and click Volt Switch, the broken move. That's where it gets Volt Switch. You can click HP, Fire, or Fighting and trap the Steel. And then in Gen 6, you get your Analytic. And now you can do boosted damage, punishing, the Manfu switch. And I think it's an eternally underrated Mon. Uh, and then it gets to Gen 9 where it's not great, but it does exist.
It existed for a bit for pre DLC. Like
Yeah, it was
like
kind of better then.
it's definitely better than. I mean, I remember 2023. I brought it against you actually. I brought Choice Specs
Yes.
with Explosion. So I was like, all right, I'm gonna get this. I'm gonna get knocked off by the Tinkatink, and then I can explode on Numel, so I don't let it get a flame charge up on me and don't lose to it later. Very silly, but it was
Uh-huh.
very fun. But I agree. It's definitely hurts to see, at least for Omanite, Onyx is on here and not Omanite.
Yeah,
Obviously, Omanite's
Onyx is
better.
one I think really shouldn't be on the list, in my opinion.
Making his
It's
way
I don't think
onto here. Now,
yeah.
fun fact for the viewers at home. So Magnemite actually got one person to rank it as their number one Pokemon, meaning it would have gotten 15 points. Drifloon's only at 36. That's what, 21 points? 19 points? One of those two. 21. It's 21 points away. You just needed like another 2 or 3 people to get it like at like 10th or
Yeah,
somewhere.
yeah, it ended at 32 points, so it missed out by 4.
Missed out by 4, and that's with someone putting it number one. And when I asked that person why they put it number one, they're like, "Oh, Magnemite's on every single VR in all the gens." And then I asked them, "Well, wait a minute, your VR is missing Chinchou, who's also on every VR, is probably better in every single gen except like 7, maybe 6." It's not better than 6. It's just better than Magnemite. 6. Probably just 7 then? I don't know where Magnemite would even be better. I was like, where's Magnemite? Or
Probably
where's
better than
Chichao?
8.
And they're like, I forgot them. Shoot. And I was like, oh my gosh. But we
Mag-
leave it up
Mag's
because it's funny.
definitely better.
Also,
Yeah, Mag's
Ponyta.
definitely better than Gen 8.
You think Ponytail's 13th?
It's just not in 9.
He's there.
Oh, not in 9. That's a good point.
I think
something about
another-
Almanite is that it is borderline broken in black and white. It's just
Really?
like,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah, very criminal. I think Oma was my 14th Mon, the ranking.
think I
and
had
it's
a
quite
higher-
criminal.
I think you also
Yeah,
had
I
a
think you
14th. Not gonna lie. Well, we
Yeah.
actually do get to find out. Well, not in this section. Gonna have to be more editing magic here. Woo! Do-do-do-do.
Please cut that out. Ban Red.
Don't worry, this is not in.
You didn't like my transition sound?
No, unfortunately.
No. Oh, wait. One other thing I want to talk about with here's my controversial Mon
Oh,
that should have been on the list.
Hmm.
Tortuga.
Tortuga?
Okay,
Tortuga.
trolling.
I can see it.
Top 30,
No,
maybe. He's
It was
got one
it was the
gen.
best. It was the best Shell Smasher in black and white for years because it had solid rock. It was good in Gen 6 because it has Aqua Tail, it's Aqua Jet to get past Diglett, Sucker Punch, and Fletchling, even if it's at low percentage. In Gen 7 and Gen 6, the defensive set is also legitimately
It
good.
did exist in like early 7, if I remember correctly. Like,
It's
it
still
was huge.
defensive Tortuga still sees some play.
True. I mean, didn't it literally.
You can also
get-
go you can also go Z item on Tortuga and it one
It
shots
gets
things at
knocked.
plus 2.
It does get knockoff.
Yeah, knock, rock slide, scold, Aqua
Mm.
Jet.
Good to know. Well, wow. Unfortunately, for the rest of the community, we think you're wrong, unfortunately. And these are actually the real rankings. We'll listen to you guys and like, hey, 50 of you or so. It's what the conglomerate, whatever that word is supposed to be, is. But here's where we rank them. So the 5 of us, of myself, Reg, Kaboom / Midas, Flou, and Mohammedal, this is where we ended up in our top 5. We had largely the same, to Midas's dismay. We had our Mienfoo Volby 1 and 2. But this is where we had our Ghastly 3, Diglett 4, Porygon 5, Abra down from 4th to 6th here. Same with Ponyard 7th and 8th, Chinchou 9, Fungus 10, 11 Timber, 12 Staryu, 13th Ponyta, 14th Drifloon, 15th Marini. What in this top 15 here stands out to you? Because I know it stands out to me, but I'm the reason it's here in the first place. So I want to hear what someone else thinks.
It's definitely the Drifloon, and at number 14.
Yep.
Didn't what was it on the community rankings, like 20?
I think it was exactly 20th.
Yeah, for me, I didn't rank Drifloon. I definitely understand why you guys did. It's kind of a beast in Gen 5 with your acrobatics flying gem. But then what breaks it is, and then 6, 7, and 8 is Recycle, Berry Juice, Will-O-Wisp is just not fair. It's very stupid and completely broken. And then it lost Berry Juice in Gen 9, so it was very good in Gen 9 for
Quite a
early in the
while,
gen.
like a whole
Yeah.
year plus. This thing was.
Yeah, it
It
was
was like after
it
the
was the
Ghastly
best
ban,
mon
this
at
thing
one
was the
point.
best mon in the tier, and it
Yeah.
really
Back when
didn't feel
sticky
close.
when
This thing
sticky
was super
webs were
cheap.
around, it was the best.
Yeah,
It's notable in Gen 4 as being you can Calm Mind, Baton Pass, so definitely kind of underrated there, I'd say. And for me, I saw it being banned through 6, 7, and 8 as like
to its
I'd rather,
detriment.
yeah, and I don't have like super strong logic to defend that. It's more of just like a vibes thing,
No,
where
I
I saw
could.
other Pokemon as being more deserving of like a ranking over
such
it.
a prestigious title as Regg's top 15
Thank
Little Cup
you.
Pokemon of all
Yes.
time. It's
So
a
true,
coveted
so true.
position to be in. But I think I think the things I'm the biggest fan of here is our Abra hate, mostly for Ghastly Porygon. I feel
I
like
think we were
most
all
people.
consensus on that.
Yeah,
We were pretty consensus
I-
between us four.
Yeah, but while that was all 5 of us combined, let's go more into where everyone had each mon in their own top 15. So, to be boring basic over here, pretty much copying what we had on our conglomerate list. We got Mienfoo, Volby, Ghastly, Diglett, Porygon, my top 5. I got Abra 6th. I got Chinchou 7th, Poniard 8th, Drifloon 9th, Timber 10th. Ferroseed, Staryu, Apom, Ponyta, Fungus 15. So, how do I justify my list? Well, the first 6 are really easy. That's, it's big 6. Chinchou. I put Chinchou on here for its longevity, its viable top 20 asterisks, maybe not in Sun and Moon, in all gens of Little Cup. And I feel like for 2+ decades, you've been usable enough that people trust you enough to bring. I feel like I had to give it a shout. Poniard, I couldn't honestly tell you my logic on Poniard. Drifloon, I was more positive leading on if you got banned. That's why I had Porygon at 5th place here over Abra. More specifically, I think the other two are better overall. But I took it as if you were getting banned, I took that as a point in your favor. I was like, if you were so good that you got removed, within limits, of course, because I don't have Scyther anywhere on this list you can see. If you were so good to a point that we had to get rid of you, and then also what really put it over the edge for me was, hey, in Scarlet Violet, it used to be the best one in the tier, and it's still very much usable, while albeit a bit niche. I had Timber cleaning out my top 10. And Ferroseed Staryu, I think this is about where most of us and then the community put it. Apom, similar story to Drifloon of you're legal in 50% of the gens. You are legal in 50% of the gens you are available in. You're banned in the other 50%. And I just thought this was a mon that was going to be underrepresented by the masses. Ponyta and Fungus rounded out for me. I'm just a Fungus hater, and I think probably snubbed it for no good reason, but I just like the offensive stuff more in my list. As you can see, I didn't even get a Marini on here. I had Poniard semi-low, Ferroseed not even in my top 10. Anything we want to question me on, though, that I didn't mention already?
I think Fungus 15 for you is pretty criminal. For me, like,
yeah, a little bit.
Apom's kind of a fraud.
Is it?
Yeah.
I think Apom is really good. I really like him.
Well, hey, look, we'll get a chance to find out. I say chance. It will get suspected, most likely Scarlet Violet if a T-Boss ban goes through. So
I think
he can
Apom
back
getting
himself up.
rebanned.
I think, you know what? We'll see. We'll see how that goes. But who did we have next? We had Midas. So Midas, the only one of the 4 of us here on the desk and of the 5 to submit a list to not have Mienfoo Volbeat 1 and 2, instead opting for Ghastly Porygon, then Volbeat Mienfoo. Not even Mienfoo top 3. No podium for him. Diglett 5th. And then he doesn't call it his big 6. There's no Abra in big 6. He's got Ferroseed, Fungus, 2 grass types above Abra at 8th place. Poniard 9, Timber 10. And then to round out the top 15, we have Ponyta, Chinchou, Drifloon. So you were the other person on Drifloon. I didn't actually know who it was. I didn't pay that much attention. Omanite, Staryu. The main thing to point out here is Abra lower than Ferroseed Fungus. Could you please explain?
Yeah, so the reason I have Abra so low is for the aforementioned, it's never been banned, aside from Gen 3, which I didn't put a ton of weight on. And the overall lack of oppressiveness it does compared to the rest of the list. Like Ghastly, banned in several gens, best mon in black and white, best top tier in Gen 6, Gen 7, Gen 3, Gen 4. It just has it all. It's consistent. And Porygon, similar deal, slightly less so than Ghastly. Volbeat's 3 because it's in the same boat as Diglett and Mienfoo, really, where it's never been banned. Mienfoo I had below because it actually competes with another mon on the list in Timber, who I rated higher than most. Diglett, Ferroseed, they're the guys. Ferroseed I love. Probably my favorite Pokemon. In the tiers. Fungus, Sleep's Broken, better than Abra, more best in slot. I've never rated Abra really super high as a mon. Poniard. Like, you can't disrespect Abra, but Poniard has some more clear issues
Okay.
that make it not as great. Timber 10, better than Mienfoo in several generations. Ponyta, dominant mon, really got better in recent years. Chinchou, iconic, one of the clear mods in LC. Drifloon, Almanite, and Staryu, yeah. Flying Gym Acrobatics banned in several gens. Might be a mechanics merchant because it's abusing Berry Juice Recycle.
Maybe a bit.
But Omanite is another post-gen star like Ponyta, and then you have Staryu, just like another iconic mon in the tier. It's always there. It's never been like super dominant to like later gens, but it's valuable.
Yeah. And one of our snubs making its appearance in Omanite. You at least calling the rest of us who didn't have it on the list frauds. I was like, hey, you're calling Omanite a fraud. I don't see it on your list though. And you know what? You got me there. I had Omanite 16th. But we'll get on to Flou. Flou, we got another boring basic list
I'm
here,
a basic
Flou.
berry,
Oh,
bro.
We've got a me. We
Basic
got
berry.
Mienfoo, Vullaby, Ghastly, Diglett, Abra. It's our top 5. Porygon, Pharisee, Chinchou, Ponyard, Timber, Fungus, Snover, Magby,
Holy.
Ponyta, Marini. You
Okay, now that I'm seeing my own list, I trolled as hell.
you're gonna
we
need
just,
to
like,
justify,
hit me, bro?
man. Number
No,
all right.
no. Can we just skip?
Where do you start your justification at?
I can't. Please move on. And we
Not
can
even
address
what
Regg's.
more. I'll give you the softball one. Why is
I didn't know
Vullaby not
who-
your number 1?
I mean, why is Vullaby not my number 1? It's fucking Mienfoo.
I don't. Hey, look, it's not Midas. He didn't even have it on the podium.
That is true.
I mean,
I didn't know Flou was a DPP main. Oh, his
Me,
number's so
me
high.
neither, apparently. I guess on that day I was,
Snover,
bro.
he put a lot. Look, he puts a lot of weight into Gen 4, Gen 5. Clearly, you know, the back when tiers were real and people had grit and cared, or something like that. I don't know.
Yeah,
But even
I don't know why
Marini.
I don't know why Magby's there, bro. I don't know why Snover's there.
Okay.
What the hell happened?
My only
Okay,
justification I can think
aneurysm.
of is you're like, less Aurora Veil is still legal in Sun and Moon. He's pretty cheap there. He's banned in Gen 7. He's banned in Gen 8, and he's banned in Gen
Wait,
9.
does-
Hold on, that's three.
does Snover
That's
just-
3 gens in a
does
row.
Snover
That's
wear
You
cheapness.
Aurora
learned
Veil?
Aurora Veil.
No,
I don't know
Aurora
why
Veil.
I have him there.
No, Aurora Veil, Sun and Moon, before it was banned. That's
Yeah.
that's. We're giving you an asterisk on how he
The
could have
move
ended
isn't-
up
The move
13th.
isn't banned. The move isn't banned.
Then
Yeah,
who's
it's just
banned?
Apex.
Oh,
it's just
Apex?
Full
Apex.
I thought they banned them.
Yeah.
Apex.
The more you know. I thought
No,
they
it's
banned the move. Is there anyone who
Nope.
could use the move
No.
then in Gen 3 or Gen 7? Sorry,
I think
What's
so.
the rock fossil?
Amora.
Amora.
Yeah.
Yeah, that guy learns it.
Isn't it like 14 speed?
Yes.
Yeah, it's
All right,
terrible.
I can see why I haven't seen it since. All right, but yeah, you've got a list here of all time, and then
Dude,
Reg.
I wasn't expecting my own list. That shit's ass.
Flou just got flashbanged.
How dare I? Dude, it was your takes, bro. All right, but you know maybe
Apparently.
Reg can save us from
All right, I'll save us.
from whatever that was. All right, you know what? I fuck with it. We don't have a Volby 2. We got a Diglett 2 Volby 3.
Yeah, I had to go
Ghastly,
Diglett too.
Porygon. Another Abra snub out of the top 5. We love to see it. But it's at 6th. You couldn't go any lower? You couldn't be like Midas?
No, I couldn't.
You couldn't be that ambitious? But it's fine. You got the rest of the regulars. Ponyard, Fungus, Staryu actually relatively high in your list here.
Mm-hmm.
At least compared to the 3 of us.
Yeah,
Pharisee
that one
rounding
does-
out your
that one
top 10. Chinchou 11, Timber, Ponyta, Ulmanite, Magnemite. All right, so Reg's
get
calling the
those
rest of
snubs
us
in there.
frauds. You
Yeah.
got both of our snubs on the list.
Mm-hmm.
But is there anything else
Yeah.
either of you two would want to point out to Reg that you're like notable on his list? I think the main thing standing out to me is Staryu 9th, where I would not have it in the top 10.
I can definitely see it.
Yeah, I mean, for me, I see Staryu as like the combination of hazard removal, it being essentially the only one. That's not really the only one. Drillbur does exist, Defog Vullaby exists, but you know, Staryu is the one when it comes to that, and also the offensive sets being so good, in 7 especially, but definitely very good in 8. Good in 4. Staryu's good in Gen 3. I think the longevity of it being, yeah, it's always there. And you know, it's definitely one that I could see myself ranking lower a little bit if you asked me on a different day. But it's, you know, I felt like it needed to go high.
Fair enough.
Can I like read you my list?
Did you redo it?
No, I'm asking, bro. Can I?
Can you redo it? You can
I
do
got
it in the next
named.
one of these, but You're
I'm
stuck
not
with
doing
that.
it
That's
again.
your opinion.
Not now.
Yeah, have fun. You're
You're
the
stuck
snow.
with
You're the
Snover
Snover number 12
Magby.
guy.
What the fuck did I do?
I mean,
Magby.
you
Snover.
now you
Yeah.
make me want to check. How many results did Snover Magby get? Magby got Flou. You were the only person out of 52 to put Magby down.
No, that can't be true.
It's true. He was the only one to put Magby and Snover.
My bad.
Oh, Magby and Snover, yeah.
And
But there was
Snover.
three. There was two other Magby mentions.
Are you
Hey, I'm not
am
sure
I
what
crazy?
the fuck I was doing that day.
Yes.
You know, when I tried to fill it out, I did say I was going on vibes.
Greedy.
No,
if
that's
you're looking at
Grimer
the
Alola. What are you talking about?
Greedy, no, I'm looking at the raw data. It's fine. It's there was
Oh,
other.
did I copy it wrong
Mag-
in the results?
I think so.
Yeah, it has Grimer Alola at 3, Magby at 1.
Yeah.
Gotcha. All right, well, editing magic for
Editing
that one.
magic.
But just to very quickly, gonna have to skip a couple slides to back. I wanted to look again very quickly at a community top 10. And I just wanted to count because I don't actually remember in my head. Was there more Gen 1 or Gen 5 mons here? I think it was 5. Gen 1s, no? Or is it like a even 50?
So Diglett, Abra, Ghastly,
Pori,
Staryu.
Staryu.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5,
Yeah.
and then
Mienfoo, Vullaby,
Mienfoo,
Ponyard, Fungus,
Vullaby.
Timber.
I think it's
Oh
5-5.
It's
shit!
5-5.
It's
It's a 5-5
5v5.
Yeah,
split.
5-5 split.
Oh
Yeah.
That's
my
kind of
god.
awesome.
That is kind of funny.
That's where all the
Because
best- the
that's
best
another
ones
video I
come
potentially want to make. Well, spoiling it
Yeah.
now. But, like, what's the best Little Cup generation of all time? And they're tied at 5-5 for
Another
top
Gen
10.
1, another Gen 5, another Gen 1, a Gen 7, a Gen 4. Goth is Gen 5. Onyx is Gen 1.
One.
Yeah. Trapinch is
Is it 6-6
3?
again? Is it 6-6? Fairyseed, Ponyta, Goth, Onyx. Or it's 7-7, sorry.
Yeah.
Holy shit. New YouTube video coming out. What is the best generation of Little Cup? But to skip through all of
Time
these
to
again.
Revive 8 RBY LC.
Oh,
They
no.
went sicko mode in Gen 1.
Yeah, they truly,
I
that Gen 1
guess,
coverage
bro.
really speaking for itself. But, oh no, the displays! Oh, saved.
But-
Phew.
Awful.
I don't know who those guys are. We got the real analysts up now, though. But, fucking 2.5 hours, pretty much. But I think this is a fun conversation, and I'm happy to
This
have
was-
finally seen the numbers.
was
I've been
great.
warning this for like a year, man.
The results are in.
The results are in. Mienfoo's still the best of all time. Shocking.
Shocking to nobody.
Yeah.
See you guys next
Maybe to
year
Midas.
for Mienfoo.
The Menfu Awards.
Yeah, the actual.
Yeah.
It was literally the competition for. Honestly, I think it's the competition for 7th place. I think everyone knew who 1 to 6 was gonna be.
Yeah.
But do you guys have any final words you want to put out? As I don't actually know Cooper's dog's name, but it's Cooper's dog
Milo.
stares at us.
Milo.
As Milo gives us, our background approval of our coverage
I'm
today.
hoping, come Gen 10, hopefully we get some more Pokemon some new Gen Pokemon that can contribute to the LC metagame, like Tink did, like Toad School did, like Lament did, and
No frauds.
and hopefully they aren't broken as fuck, so we can keep them around.
We can keep them around. So come Gen 15, they can be in this top 15 list.
Maybe Mienfoo will finally be B rank in Gen 15.
Surely.
It'll still be S.
I mean, I don't know, man. You got 4 to 9, or 5 to 9. Sorry, jeez, bro, of being dominant. But I think it's gonna be it for us. Thank all 3 of you for being on again. 2.5 hour time commitment. Took us a bit to get there, but I'm happy we did it. Thanks y'all so much for watching. Like and subscribe. Blah 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 blah. No one's watching this part. Goodbye.